Oh, you got the poll?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so what's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. And I'm here with my beautiful wife. Say hi, boo.
Hi, everyone. I'm here today to educate these hoes.
Okay. Don't you mean bros?
Hoes, bros. Bro hoes.
Bro hoes.
I'm wearing my shirt. I got my war paint on.
Okay, you're ready.
I am ready.
You're ready for it. Okay.
Y'all are the problem.
Okay.
Not us. Stop.
Anyway, what's up? So this is gonna be like a, call-in show, call-in live stream. We're just kicking it maybe for like an hour and a half or so. And yeah, it's been a good week, kind of a crazy week. But how was your week, Akdi?
My week was good. I'm just overall stressed by, about money, about finances, about the future. Everything is uncertain.
Don't come in here like that, like making it seem like we're begging people for shit. We're not begging nobody for nothing.
I think everybody is dealing with that type of stuff.
Amen.
So yeah, I'm just like saying I'm a normal middle class person in this world and I'm struggling. That's it.
Yeah, everything's getting crazy right now, but we gonna make it, no worries. I went live a few times today talking crazy, but we gonna be alright. But yeah, it's just been a crazy busy week, a lot of work, taking exams. Think you're finishing up your thesis, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
it's been good.
Yeah, it's been good. Are you looking forward to this week? Anything happening?
Yeah, I think we're finally going to make our application for the visa for this week. So that should be like over our head and sort of like not something to think about. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And we're getting closer to our trip to Norway.
Yes, going to Norway for the first time. The first time.
So
looking forward to it.
I'm excited, yeah.
I can't wait to do some more travel vlogs. Like travel Norway vlog, Backpack Bandits in Norway. Plus also we're going to Poland too. Gonna be out there in Poland as well, so looking forward to that.
How are we going to Poland?
You don't remember? That's our return flight, and then we're traveling.
Oh yeah.
How do you forget that?
I thought it was Slovenia or something.
No, it was Poland. You don't remember?
I thought it was Slovenia.
You're the itinerary woman. You have to be on top of that.
I think I mixed up my capitals.
It's not even a capital city. It's a coastal city.
Anyway, I'm excited for everything.
I'm excited too. It's going to be good. But listen, so today we're going to be watching this film and reacting to it. And this is a, documentary that you found. You put me onto this. Explain what we're going to be watching today.
So I was basically scrolling through and just watching documentaries on YouTube. Came across this. Why these American men are seeking love in Asia, the rise of passport bros. And this is a hilarious documentary about like these American men and why are they moving. Yeah. And I think it also has like some interesting takes about like feminism and what love is. And like just dating in general, and it has like very striking data. Okay. It is a channel I didn't know about before, so I'm not sure like how credible it is.
I've seen some CNA Insider, documentaries and news clips before. This is a Singaporean like news channel. It's like the Al Jazeera of Singapore. So, they do their thing every now and then, and I check them out. But it's mostly like Asian stories. Yeah. I didn't see this documentary before, but I just walked into the room one day and you were watching it and you're like, no, you got to see this. And like, there's one part in here that's so hilarious. I can't wait to get to that. But we're going to be reacting to that. And also, so this is going to be like our movie reviews. Like a lot of the times, like we watch movies and our commentary, sometimes I feel like is better than our actual movie reviews when we sit down and talk. Yeah. Because sometimes we're like just roasting this film as it's happening. Yeah. So this is going to be like a live reaction movie review if you're a fan of that stuff as well. But I also wanted to pop up something on you. I've been watching this other YouTuber. His name is Jovan Bradley. And he debates people all the time about mostly like trans issues, but also like, MAGA, Trump, and systemic racism and stuff like that. He's a black streamer on Twitch and stuff. And I really want to get into like call-in shows and stuff like that. So for like today's live stream, it's a mixed call-in show, which is why we're doing it on Zoom. You can talk to us live right now if you want to. Just click the link in the chat. But we're also going to be debating these topics. So I thought of these and I thought these would be interesting for like stuff to talk about at the beginning. So hopefully you can see them. So I think I tried to pick as complex topics as I could that maybe you and I could debate on, because you and I agree on like 95% of things. So I was trying to think of like the best topics that maybe you and I could argue on. You get what I'm saying? And if anybody else wants to join in and debate, the video, or just holler at us or talk about a topic, you can. It's open floor, open discussion for anybody. So the debate topics are: Hamas is hurting Gazans more than Israel. Cassie is a co-conspirator to Diddy. Whites should be replaced, which was a request from our guy Nelson Moreno. He hopped in my live stream earlier today. And Passport Bros have a point. So I want to ask you, which one do you want to debate first with me?
Before we watch the documentary?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with Cassie is a co-conspirator.
Okay. So tell me why you think she isn't, or she is, or what do you think?
I think she might be like involved in arrangements of, freak-offs and whatnot, but she was like, in the essence of it, she was being manipulated and exploited. So I don't think this would, apply to her. Because also, like, the last testimonies from Diddy's, like, assistants and all the people that were working around Diddy, all of them were saying, yeah, like, Cassie was manipulated, Cassie was abused. She was, like, constantly worried, telling us, like, she doesn't want to do this or that, but she has to because of either, like, financial stuff would be taken away from her, or, maybe romantic reasons as well. So I don't think she's a co-conspirator. Okay.
I would argue that in any other type of crime, regardless of whether somebody is manipulated or not, they're still held to be liable. For example, if, I'm in the car with you, right? And I kill somebody, and then I say, Akdi, let's put him in the trunk. And you're like, no, we can't, no. And then I say, Akdi, you better do it, or else, I'm going to hurt you too. And then you put the body in the trunk and help me bury it. You're just as equally liable for murder as me in the eyes of the law. In the same way, I think Cassie, even if she can say, oh, I was this young 19, girl taken in by this rich older man, you were still flying the escorts out, picking some of the escorts. You could argue her participation in the freak-offs might have been coerced, but she was still saying, I love to freak off. Paying for the prostitutes. Sometimes having sex with them by herself.
No, but if you're not doing those actions, what are the consequences? I think that's the most important part. Like, if she didn't do those things, what would be the consequences for her? She might have been dead.
That's what, that might be true. But it doesn't change the fact that you were still participating in what is a crime, soliciting prostitution.
But you were forced to do that. So it's not like as same as what Diddy was doing. That's why I think it sort of comes into this territory of like self-defense in a way. Because if you don't do that, then you are, ruining yourself. And just like in human nature, we will do anything not to hurt ourselves. So.
But once again, in the eyes of the law, it doesn't matter if you're coerced, if you're a part of a crime. Sometimes you are still found liable for that crime. Sometimes you're still found liable for being a part of that crime. Yeah. There have been plenty of people who have been in the car with somebody who did something horrible, and then they all go to jail.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, like the people that she was hiring for the freak-offs were hurting her. Because in these freak-offs, she was the main, victim.
If the roles were reversed, if this were a very powerful woman, Anna Wintour had this 20-year-old boy toy that she forced him to have sex with other models in front of her, you wouldn't be saying, oh, he's not a co-conspirator as well.
Yes, I would.
You would be saying he is equally, like, just as much a victim. He's not co-conspiratory?
No, he's not co-conspiratory. Like, if he was actually being forced the way Cassie was being forced, then yeah, like, I think he is innocent and he was, like, forced into doing those things. Because he is also, like, he's the main victim. and he's gathering like other victims basically. And that doesn't take her out from her like victimhood.
Okay. She might have been, coerced into doing this, but she still had the opportunity to, go back to her parents. She stayed with Diddy to some degree because she wanted a career in the music industry. She wanted to go up. She wanted to have a album out, be on top of the charts and stuff like that. And she stayed with him because of the career opportunities.
Okay, because no one does anything for free. Like, she wanted those things and she stayed with Diddy for those things, but that also means Diddy agreed to give her those things.
Right. And
it's not a one-way street.
And he didn't, because that's the nature of the music industry. You think you're going to sleep your way to the top. She ended up sleeping her way to the middle.
Yes, he promised her things in exchange for other things, and Diddy got the things he wanted, but Cassie never got the things she signed up for.
Yes, she didn't. But that's okay, but that's the nature of the deal. So everybody who gets a record deal and they never get all the success that they dreamed of is now somehow being coerced and they're trapped in this criminal organization?
Of course not, but in the case of Cassie, she is, because she had to endure physical violence, sexual violence, and all these things.
But she was in a relationship with him. She admitted that we were in a relationship. She talked about being in a 10-year relationship, even on the witness stand.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as we were in a relationship.
Okay.
Like, you can be in a relationship with someone and then 1 second later you're being sex trafficked.
Okay, so Akdi, you and I are married, and let's say we're married for 10 years, right? And then later we get a divorce, and after our divorce you say, throughout our 10-year relationship, Simon was raping me. Most of the time we had sex, it was rape. Is that what?
There's no evidence to support that, though.
There is no evidence. I'm glad you're saying that for the audience.
Yes.
But still.
But Cassie has evidence to support her case.
Her case is that Diddy was abusive to her and beating her down and forcing her into freak-offs. That's her claim. The defense team is making the claim that she was just a girl in a relationship with a very powerful man, and they had a toxic Ike Turner style relationship, but she was not being trafficked because she was a willing participant in the freak-offs. And so I would take it a step further if I was the defense and say she was a willing participant, and if Diddy is on trial, then so should she.
No, because like the example I gave last time, a sex worker might come into the business consensually, but then that person could be taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't change the fact that she was being trafficked, and it doesn't change the fact that she was being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. Like, things could start in one way and then end up another way. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying it's not as simple as, oh, we were in a relationship. So yeah, maybe they were in a relationship, obviously, before, but it turned into something else. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that this is all a result of a toxic relationship.
If I get a text from you after we break up saying, I miss you, I love you, and I miss what we had, does that show that relationship was somehow, very toxic, that it was very abusive, that it was coercive?
It can be. You can't trust people in that situation, because her breaking up with Diddy meant that she was losing her apartment, her, everything that she worked for, like, for 10 years.
And years later, when she moves on, and even when she's married to a new guy, and she's still texting Diddy, I miss you, I love you, and stuff like that, what does that say?
It says that she was, like, traumatized and still in the, mindset of the victim.
Okay, that's I feel like that shows a lack of, like, accountability and responsibility, in the sense that,
she texted him like today or something.
No, but I'm saying, like, the defense team is pulling out texts, from Cassie, after Kim Porter died, and after they broke up years later, where Cassie is texting Diddy like, I miss you, I loved what we had and stuff like that. Yeah,
and that's love. Like, I believe she truly loved Diddy, but it doesn't change the fact that he took advantage of her.
Okay, well. We'll agree to disagree right here.
Okay.
And these are the debate topics. If anybody wants to hop in and talk about any of these, because I think we can go on these just alone all day and night. But we're coming here to watch the Passport Bro vid and react to it.
Yeah.
All right. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you were getting hot at me. Don't get mad at me.
I will.
Don't.
I'm heated.
All right. Shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
And they've all been hit by Cupid's arrow in Asia.
Am I seeking love? Yes. Yes, I think that's fair to say.
They're part of a growing group of young Western men who travel abroad to look for romance. A movement that calls themselves the Passport Bros.
I think it's refreshing when men come here, they find a really feminine, nurturing woman that trusts them.
While some see no harm in these men roaming for romance.
ถ้าทุกคนสามารถมีตัวเลือกที่เหมาะสมนะครับยิ่งเยอะก็ยิ่งเป็นสิทธิ์ของเขา
Others find their motivations distasteful.
It kind of fulfills like their expectations that, you know, brown people should be servicing white people.
They just want quick hookups.
What's driving this trend?
Okay, yeah, first and foremost, I just like that point that she brought up there. Like, you know, a lot before Passport Bros, there were sex tours, and white men have been doing this for the past few hundred years, like going to different countries, having sex with the foreign women, literally raping them until there's a whole new people created. So yeah, like I feel like that's missing from a lot of the context and discussion about Passport Bros. Any comment?
Yeah, and they talk about them more, so I don't want to
Okay.
like, you know,
Spoil it?
Spoil it.
Okay.
Like the American Wars, you know, had a lot of effect of American men going to Asia and hooking up with women.
When we invaded the Philippines, Vietnam, and all that stuff. All right.
And how does Asia really feel about Passport Bros?
Oh, sorry. I won't be pausing every single time, but I just thought of something real quick.
Yeah.
Something it's very interesting, right? A lot of like Western men went to Asia and stuff and left behind like mixed kids and stuff like that. And, you know, also brought back this, you know, fetishized idea of the Asian woman. But that didn't happen in Afghanistan and Iraq. Like we were in there for a long ass time and nobody came back with like a Mia Khalifa fetish. Like
I wonder why.
Why do you think that happened? Why do you think they went to Iraq and nobody came back saying, boy, they know how to throw it back? Fatma? Well, she put it on me.
I would say it one word, Islamophobia.
You think it was because of the white men being scared of the Arab pussy? Like scared of, you know, jumping in and then it goes kaboom.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, I think there's possibly like a better explanation, but you know, Middle Easterners and Muslims have been like, you know, pinned as like terrorists and all these sort of like aggressive, you know, categories where like Asian people in general in the white world, they are more like, oh, they're like hardworking and obviously they also have like negative stereotypes as well, but they are seen more submissive, whereas like Muslims in general, they're seen like more aggressive.
I see.
So
but
I
within
think
the Philippines, there's a ton of Muslims. When the Americans invaded the Philippines, you know, they were fighting against basically the Mujahideen.
Yeah, I understand, but I feel like still, even in Philippines, maybe their Asian identity is perceived more by the white world than their Muslim identity.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, like Americans don't know a lot about other world nations in general.
That's true. But I mean, when people actually go there, people get exposed to this stuff. I think, you know, it's the inverse. I think, you know this better coming from like the Middle East. Like there's a lockdown on women, like in those conservative Arab Muslim countries and stuff like that. So the girls couldn't be out there like selling cooch. You know what I mean? Like in the Asian world, like they sent their own daughters out there to go have sex with white men. But like the Arab man would rather die than, you know, sell his daughters out there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think that doesn't, that is not to say like there isn't sex work in Middle East. There's much of it, you know, but it is more of a social taboo, I guess, like to, you know, send your daughter to marry the other, basically.
Right.
Especially if that other is a Christian.
I mean, they say that everywhere American soldiers go, they always leave behind American children. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that didn't happen in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I find that just very fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, you know, historically deeply rooted, like Islamophobia and like sort of how
I think it's
Muslim girls are seen.
But I think it's just the opposite. I think it's, you know, the Muslim men really forbade, you know, sex work from happening in those countries.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Both of them could be like together, working together.
Continuing the doc. Why I prefer Thailand.
My name is Paulie. I'm a Korean American, and I moved to Thailand 4 years ago. I'm a full-time content creator and a digital nomad.
Paul is 28, from New York. Now he calls Bangkok, Thailand, home. He's one of many young Western men who identify themselves as passport bros.
A passport bro is a recent term that's been very popularized recently. It's basically where a man traditionally from the West moves and migrates to another country, like in Latin America or in Southeast Asia, to pursue women they see as more feminine, right? And the whole goal of this is to find a long-term relationship and to build a family.
The biggest topics on the internet.
I first saw it on social media a couple years ago, and it was just blowing up all over my feed.
They're leaving in droves for other countries.
I want it all. Women, clothes, and cars.
These videos are some of the tens of thousands with the hashtag #PassportBros on TikTok.
Every drink is a ritual. The atmosphere is pristine.
The term passport bro is believed to have originated in 2004 to describe Brazilian sex tourism. It then mostly fell out of popular use. But then, in late 2022, it was revived and exploded in popularity, according to Google Trends. The term trended on TikTok and Instagram as borders reopened and international travel resumed post-COVID-19. By November 2023, the hashtag #PassportBros had gained more than 470 million views on TikTok. So what is driving this surging trend? Well, the popularity of passport bros coincides with the decline of romantic relationships in some Western countries, particularly in the United States.
Right now in America, I'm seriously concerned that there is a big shift happening. And there are a lot of factors that feed into it. So we have less marriages happening.
Arlene has more than a decade of experience as a dating and relationship coach. Now she travels around the world to teach matchmakers the art of connecting people. A 2022 Pew study showed that 63% of American men under the age of 30 describe themselves as single, compared to 34% of women.
The matchmakers...
Wait. So I think she says 63% of men describe themselves single, compared to 34% of women.
So, like, 15% of men are cheating in that equation.
That's crazy. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there, like just right there. First and foremost, I went to Asia, and going to Asia is a big culture shock, especially if you're a single man, in the sense that sex is really easy to come by in Asia. And I was in very conservative Indonesia, like the Islamic Republic of Indonesia. And even then, it was not impossible to get laid. It was very easy to get laid, right? And
just expand on that. Like, get laid as in, buy sex, or as in hook up?
I was about to say that. Yeah. It's kind of both. On one hand, I think the major reason it's easy to get laid, especially if you come from a Western country, the UK, the US, etc., is just because of the money, right? Like, back in the day when I was there, $20 was like $100. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Translated in purchasing power, right? So, you could really make take a girl out on a very, very nice date. Some shit she wouldn't be able to do regularly with one of their men. You get what I mean? And secondly, yes, sex work is readily available there as well. So common. You know what I mean? Yeah. And earlier I was talking about in Iraq, they weren't selling their daughters over there. Unfortunately, it's that bad that own families will pimp out their daughters and shit like that. So I think a lot of these passport bros are going there to pay to play. That's first and foremost. And secondly, when it comes to the difference between men and women as far as relationships in the West, that's really funny. I think though the way it works in women's minds, nothing's ever a duality. It's neither black nor white. So women are in some gray zone. It's I just broke up with this guy, so technically I'm single, but we still have sex. So it's they're in situationships, and men are I'm done, I'm single. You know what I'm saying? So women got this weird gray zone in their head. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know about the gray zone. I never really had a gray zone in my head. that much.
No.
Like even with you, like when we broke up the first time we were together, it was sort of like done for me, and it was more great for you.
Okay.
Like I don't know if that is true for all women.
But do you think other women do that? That maybe they think of situationships or it's complex. It's not really single. There's somebody I'm talking to, so I don't know if I'm really single.
I don't know. How can I generalize that
I don't want
idea?
I don't think it is a bit of generalizing, but I do think it is a bit of like understanding how complex relationships are now. Just the fact we have the word situationship shows that there's... You remember on Facebook they used to have "it's complicated"?
Yeah.
Like, that's been what relationships are.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for like women to, call themselves not single is that they have to establish like the relationship. And women love to ask those questions like, what are we doing? Because they want to know like if they are in it for real, so that they can give more, I think. So I don't know. In my opinion, that's the only way that women would say they're in a relationship.
Okay.
I don't think if they're in their situationship, they would say, I'm in a relationship.
Right. We also need more information on that survey because, like, maybe more women are accepting of their queer identity. So there's women, I don't know if they're saying in a relationship, heterosexual, or in any type of relationship. Yeah. Because I think maybe more men are scared about coming out as gay or bi and dating another man. Meanwhile, women might be more comfortable being like, I'm bi or curious or straight up lesbian and dating other women. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So that's what I think. But shall we continue?
Yeah.
That I work with are finding a big difference in expectations from what women want and what men want. In the past, I would say women in particular would get married for financial security. They no longer need that. Now they want to get married for love. They want to find a partner who's compatible, who has similar core values and lifestyle goals, and a partner who's going to confer and not just go off.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? I just got in. Just arrived home, got in.
All right, good to hear from you, man. You had a good day?
It was all right. It wasn't too bad.
Cool. Hey, let me ask you, in Portugal, do you ever see passport bros, like guys that look like they're sex tourists? Like little white men running around in shorts and Hawaiian t-shirts? trying to...
Not typically, but supposedly, my family is from Cape Verde, and I've heard of some people, maybe in my family, who went to who got here in Portugal. They got like a passport or like a proper identification or something. I don't know how to say it properly.
Yeah.
And they brought back someone from a woman or something from Cape Verde to bring here.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
So like some of the Portuguese guys go to Cape Verde to get the women.
No, Cape Verde guys.
Oh, Cape Verde guys came to Portugal through like a white Portuguese woman.
No, they came to Portugal. They get good here, right?
Yeah.
They get a house, they get like a passport, and they go back to pick up a woman there and bring them here, back here.
Okay. I mean, that's just traditional immigrant scamming.
That's family
reunification. I guess.
Family reunification. All right, man. What's up?
What's the topic?
Man, we're talking about a lot of stuff. We're talking about these passport bros. We also got some debate topics here. Hamas is hurting Gazans more than Israel. Cassie is a co-conspirator. Whites should be replaced. And passport bros have a point. Is there any topic you want to debate?
Of course, the whites should be replaced.
All right.
Okay, let's get into that. Can someone explain who's whites being replaced with? Blacks?
The people of the world.
The people of the world.
What does that mean? So whites should be like wiped out?
They should become a minority.
They're too high in number. How are they going to become a minority?
Are they too high in number? I mean, I'm looking at these stats and I don't know.
Okay. I mean,
these birth rates are going down.
Because nothing changes that much for me, I guess. Like in technical, I would still be a minority.
Hey, if whites became a minority, I wouldn't be too bad.
Let me play devil's advocate. If the whites become a minority, who are we gonna beat up on? If the whites become a minority, whose wives are we gonna fuck?
Who are the new whites?
No.
Is that the question?
Who are gonna be the new whites?
That's a tough question.
I was really.
What's cuck porn gonna be like?
And exactly, it's just gonna be like Diddy roleplay, like just freak off stuff.
True.
I was really hoping a white supremacist would come in and like start debating, like, what do you mean the whites should be replaced? I'm gonna tell you why.
That would be fun.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I was watching like a anti-Semitist protest in the U.S. and the men were chanting, "Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us." It was hilarious. Anyway.
They're carrying those sticky torches, those small torches.
Yeah. They looked very scary.
That's sad, man. Skinny little white boys.
You know why they say that though, right?
Why?
They think that the Jews run the world and they want high immigration so that the whites will be mad at other people and not Jews. This is the white supremacist theory.
That's dumb.
It's really dumb. It's really dumb. But it goes back to even like the 1800s. That's how old that theory is.
Wow.
That sounds dumb, right? But would it be too crazy if you found out that Netanyahu had a plan like that? Would it be really outrageous?
That would be crazy. Netanyahu like floods France full of like Cameroonians, and he's like, "This will keep them off our back."
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, we're gonna continue watching this. We're gonna continue watching this documentary and replying to it. But if you have another comment or anything you want to say, Nelson, like you're willing to
I'll be listening.
You can always jump in, man. You're always welcome. All right.
Often make decisions on his own. Young men don't know what they're supposed to do to connect with women. Women don't know a lot of the things of what they should be looking for in a man. There's no blaming women. There's no blaming men. It's just that it's an uncomfortable time where things are changing.
One change is reflected in how the genders view society. Young women in the US have become increasingly liberal, while men trended slightly more conservative. This divide is especially stark after 2017.
All right, wait. We have to talk about this. All right.
Y'all are the problem.
No. Okay. Men are not having sex, apparently. Men are not having enough sex, but women are still having sex. Women are becoming more liberal. Men are becoming more conservative. Why is that?
Because women can now equally, in an extent, join the workforce and provide for themselves. Mm-hmm. And men are mad because now they're not stuck with us, so we can't marry and we can't have kids. They should be stuck with us like they did before. But now that they're not, they actually have standards.
Okay.
And we can't be up to these standards.
Okay, I'm not going full red pill, but I'm dropping red pill light here. Earlier they said that 61% of men said they're single, and I think later they're going to talk about most men aren't having sex, right? Yeah. But most women are having sex. That means many women are having sex with the same man. So that goes to show women are somehow like picking and choosing only a select set of dudes to have sex with, causing the rest of the dudes to turn into incels and racist and wild conservatives.
There is no causing. We are not causing anything. Y'all should be picking up. I think for many, many, many years, you have taken advantage of the fact that women can't have a financial freedom. And you've taken that and you let yourselves go. And now you're paying the price for it. Like, now you think the world was going to be the same, so now you're trying to travel the parts of the world where these traditions are still alive. And I'm not saying, like, these cultures are backwards or anything like that, but these men are exploiting those cultures and making it feel like it was the old America or something like that, you know?
Nelson, what you got to say?
This is why I don't feel bad for Cassie. You know what I'm saying? Because these women, they don't see us as like human beings. Everything is a manipulation. We want to control women. We want to put them down in like in the hierarchy. I think it's a lot more simple. I think that like actually it's a lot of things. I think we've been lying to men. You know, we saying that women, you know, like want a nice guy, a romantic guy. That's not true. Like men, women, they're the real alpha males. You know, I think women want to be dominated and they want money. You know, and we need to start telling the truth. You know, women are shadow too. They're like good hot guys. You know, so these guys when they get in, they're in a delusion. You know, so they get the heart broken and they start joining the red pill. So they say, "Oh, this is the true nature of women." But if you start early, this won't happen. This won't happen.
Nelson, wait,
Oh, God.
I'm hot.
Okay.
Who made that woman that way, Nelson? What was the reason women became so, like, caring about money? Why? I wonder why. Could it be all the years of, like, men not giving us financial freedom that we started to value money more than a good man? Could it be that?
Well, I tell you why. Because women want power. They like power.
Everyone likes power, but what happens if you don't give people any power for many, many years, and then when they finally get power, what are they going to do? And you can tell this about any group. And it's not just about women.
It's definitely a part of it. It's definitely social. I believe it, of course. But some part of it is also biological because I think women, they're more tuned into resources, you know. Back in the days, like when people were like monkeys, you know, the woman used to be, you know, not as physical and imposing as the male, you know, sexual deformism, which is normal in nature. So women, they used to select the guy who used to provide more food or something, and today this translates to money, you know.
No, I think it doesn't even translate to money sometimes because I think women are still choosing the same way men choose. They're picking the most attractive looking mate because there's a lot of broke dudes that get pussy, like me. All of my life I've been broke all my life and I never had a problem getting laid. You feel me? So it's like I think women are still choosing some dudes that they think, oh, I'm going to move up with him, or he's tall. Like, the number one thing women are doing now is, like, you got to be 6 feet at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got so it's not even sometimes about money, though I hear where you're coming from. But I also hear where you're coming from, Akdi. I'm not trying to play both sides of the fence, but I'm just saying it's like...
I think, yeah, I mean, I just think for many years, patriarchy has dug its own grave. It's like how it is with, like, white supremacy. Like, white supremacists are digging their own graves, and it's going to bite them in the ass, and it is biting them in the ass even today. And it's the same way with patriarchy. Like, the way that, you know, patriarchy just kept on, like, pushing this one idea into woman's head, and now they're saying this is the woman's biology.
But Akdi, you gotta acknowledge that, and it's not women's fault, not that they don't have the right to do this, but you gotta acknowledge that women making the choice to, like, be more selective on the men that they sleep with, and you know, not marrying just the first guy who has a good job that says yes. You get what I'm saying? Like, women are now making a reaction from men that's making them go conservative, that's making them, you know, say all these things about women. You have to acknowledge that part at least. Do you see that? Not that it's wrong that y'all are making those choices, but do you acknowledge that?
Yeah, I acknowledge that we have higher standards and we're more picky, and there's a reason for that. And I just feel like if you take that out of context, it feels like, oh, women are like more spoiled now, or they only care about this and that, like they only care about height and money and whatever. But it's not. Like, we've always cared about those things, but we didn't have the options, and now we do. And what are you gonna do?
Damn, cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, and men have always had the options, especially white men. They had options to all races and all kinds of women.
By force.
Yeah, even by force. So it's like, you know, I know it's hard for you to lose your options. I know it's hard, but I love it.
Nelson.
Well, I think that, you know, it is what it is. I think men should become a little bit more demonic, a little bit stronger, you know. and more receptive to loneliness. These girls, they start feeling everything is good, all the intention is good, but pain is what brings fire is what brings iron.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree.
Anyway,
But there's one truth. That those stats that Simon was talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like that tells the truth that women prefer being in a harem with a high level guy, other than being in a stable, good relationship with a low value guy.
Woo! Women would
That's
prefer
what the
to be in
stats
a
are saying.
harem with a big ballin', big dick NBA player than to be with a decent guy who works 9 to 5 and he's a plumber. Women would rather be LeBron James' hoe than Mike down the street's wife.
Facts.
It depends on the woman, but the problem is most women, most people around the world are still middle class or lower class. Mm-hmm. So obviously when middle class or lower class girls get that type of opportunity, they're going to go for it.
I'm just going to swallow all the pills right now. Pause. No Diddy. But just to be frank, just to be real, like you might say, oh, everybody's middle class, but women do have some like extra value on them because of their beauty. Like the no-name girl from Kansas can start posting pictures on Instagram. Next minute she's getting flown out with Drake on Epstein Island, whatever. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
That is absolutely true, but you have to look at the reason why. Why do those girls can use their beauty?
All money. It's all money.
No, it's not all money. No, it's all because of patriarchy, and men have been saying for many, many years that beauty is the only thing that matters for a woman. And now these girls have completely embraced that and turned that into modern feminism or something in their head. And now they're using it, and there's nothing to stop that. Like, once again, it's y'all did this, not us.
I just want to say that I'm a feminist. I support women's rights. I read feminist literature. I like feminist art, feminist cinema, and anything. I support women. I just want to clarify and say that.
Thank you.
I think we can support women, but we can also call women out on some bullshit too. I don't think that's
yes.
Not all women are angels, duh.
Exactly. Cassie's a co-conspirator. Facts.
Okay, I'm not going into that topic again. I'm not going.
Hey, shout out to Avery. Actually, reply to Avery in the chat.
What?
Like send him a text or something.
My sister hooked me up with a Turkish girl. Wow.
I'm gonna press play on this documentary.
This period coincided with the Me Too movement, a social campaign to raise awareness of sexual assault and harassment against women. Me Too went viral following the allegations of abuse by Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. The gender divide was widening and bled into romance.
They're becoming very antagonized towards each other, especially on social media. Like, they'll say that all women are bad or all women are going downhill. There's no good women in America. They'll say these general statements like this. And I think those kind of narratives can just further divide people.
Men and women have very differently evolved psychologies. Our female ancestors had to make sure that we were with partners that would care for our offspring. And so in a modern environment where suddenly we don't need men anymore to provide resources. So many women might realize that actually, wait a second, I don't need a man. And male psychology, on the other hand, is very much inclined to pursue a lot of sexual and mating opportunities.
A study in 2020 found more Americans have become sexless, especially young men. About 1 in 3 men aged 18 to 24 said that they had no sexual activity in the past year.
Okay,
you have to continue a bit.
Hold on, wait. I just want to say, man, like, for me, this weird relationship that Gen Z is having with sex is so foreign to me. You get what I'm saying? Because, like, when I was growing up, I feel like we were over-sexualized, and looking back on my life, it was a good thing and a bad thing, in the sense that I could never have a complex about women not giving me pussy. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like, damn, I'm over-sexualized now. Like, I think about sex too much. We started watching porn too young. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. This is weird for me to see this. Any comments?
I think the social media, just had too big of an effect on this. Because now, you know, these kids live through social media and they get exposed to certain type of standards, and also they get stimulated by the social media. So maybe, I don't know, it might have a negative effect on their sexuality.
On the way they think about sex.
The way they think about sex and the way they try to get sex as well.
That's true. I mean, they don't have those third places anymore. Like, you know, we were, you know, going out to like movie theaters, meeting up at the mall, going to the park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if kids today are doing that. I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't hang around kids, so I don't know what they be up to.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, like one of the first sexual encounters kids have today is like
in the back of the car. Oh,
no.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say in the DMs, because we didn't have that growing up, and yeah, so you know they're having like internet sex first before they have real sex.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna continue. But damn, 18 to 24. But they said not in the past year, so that doesn't mean they're virgins. But I wouldn't be surprised if like 20% of men around 18 or 24 are like virgins. I would not be surprised, and that's a high number in my opinion.
Yeah.
A significant jump from 2000. But this wasn't the case for women.
So you could see how in a modern environment, when a male psychology cannot really pursue these opportunities anymore, that they might turn to other strategies to obtain sexual or romantic access.
To find romance, some men are trying their luck overseas. These are the passport bros. Many of them are young digital nomads, professionals who leverage internet connectivity and remote working tools, allowing them to travel and work from virtually anywhere. At their core is a belief in traditional gender roles, which they think are disappearing from Western society.
Passport bro is someone who wants to basically find a traditional wife. I think in the West, a lot of women don't want to be like traditional, don't want to take on these like traditional gender norms, and they want to essentially put on the shoes of like the traditional man, I guess. And I'm not saying that's bad, you know. Every single relationship is different, every person's different, but I think it's refreshing when men come here, they find a really feminine, nurturing woman that trusts them and that they can kind of go in the same direction with, and kind of have the same traditional values and traditional roles, such as women cooking and cleaning, whereas these things would be seen as kind of controversial in the States.
This is the website of a self-described official Passport Bros company, launched in the United States in 2023. It's run by Prometheus Worley and his son, Clifford. They provide information for aspiring
everybody look at these niggas, man. Is this shit not like a Key and Peele sketch? Is this shit not like a Dave Chappelle skit? Look at these boys, man. This shit is ridiculous. We run Passport Bros Inc. And this nigga is just, he's dressed up like an evil librarian in like the 1840s.
Is he white?
You don't see the video? You don't see the video? He's not white. It's two black dudes. Does this not look like a Key and Peele sketch? This looks like me and Nelson Moreno hanging out. Like the way they are taking their job so seriously is hilarious, man. This is hilarious. Bruh, he is wearing a suit that's way too big. Look at his neck. Do you see that neck on that collar? What the fuck is that, bruh? What is he doing? Look at that.
That's hilarious.
He's wearing his grandpa's funeral suit. That's insane, man. That's crazy.
And the way he's looking at the computer, like, what is he doing?
This is all hilarious. These two are characters. Like, these are two guys, I know they just said, hey, we're just going to get in this documentary. They paying. So we're going to start this website. We're just going to pretend. This is no, come on now.
Passport Bros. Tips include how to date in different cultures, how to find accommodation and flights, or rent a private jet.
Right now, we're just an informational service. That's right. We're standing at 500,000 men, subscribers, and we're not charging. There's such a disconnect between men and women that men have to literally be on their guard.
Prometheus Worley. This is when I said, Akdi, get the fuck out of here, because this can't be real. The brother's name is Prometheus Worley. You cannot tell me that is not his same screen name he uses on World of Warcraft. You cannot tell me.
I think it sounds kind of cool. Prometheus.
It is a cool name, but it's too like on brand.
Fiction.
It looks fictional as fuck. Like
too fictional.
This is the evil club owner in a Spike Lee film that never came out. Like he is like he's the one guy who knows who really killed Malcolm X, brother, but he don't want to tell you because the CIA is looking. Like what the,
he got like a radio station.
Yes, he's got a radio, like an AM radio station. This is Black Knight 127 coming to you live from the underground.
Yeah.
No, Prometheus Worley. Get the Passport Bros Inc. Passport Bros LLC. This man filed documentation with the U.S. government saying, "Yep, that's what we doing." That's insane.
Are you proud?
Smash or pass?
Smash.
Oh my God, Akdi, no.
I got a thing for older dudes.
No, for Prometheus Worley.
Prometheus is kind of looking nice.
He looks insane. Wait till he
His
starts.
son, though, no.
Wait till he starts talking. As soon as Prometheus starts talking.
It's a one-night stand.
And you know he's got to ask him his opinions about black women. You might as well just talk to Adolf Hitler. Like,
Wow.
You might as well just watch a Nick Fuentes video. Oh my God.
Just to interact with a woman, so men are opting to leave. You go where you're appreciated versus staying here where you're just tolerated.
Much like how
Prometheus first heard about Passport Bros 2 years ago.
Opting to leave. You go where you're appreciated versus staying here where you're just tolerated.
Prometheus first heard about Passport Bros 2 years ago. To his surprise, the criteria seemed to describe his life long before the movement even had a name. It began when he got divorced from his wife after 12 years of marriage. He was 35.
My spouse had cheated on me, and it shattered my ego. It broke me into 1,000 pieces. I ended up going to Southeast Asia in 2013. There's a whole different culture and mindset that a lot of the women have there. The environment is completely different. Fast forward, my son, who's my business partner, noticed that there were guys traveling, making videos. And he's the one that brought it up to me. He was like, God, Dad, you know, there's these guys that they're doing what you've been doing. They're traveling. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, Passport Bros. I'm like, huh, what? We're just coming off of the heels of COVID, the travel bug, and they want to get out. And, you know, and why not be that light post, if you will, that guiding light to try to help men where we can.
Dog, this is the worst, like, Spike Lee screenplay ever. Dad, they're traveling like you, Prometheus. Young brother, let me sit you down. What is this father-son bonding moment over? It's a father-son bonding moment over Thai pussy.
Yes, it's so twisted. Like, how are you supporting your dad going abroad and smashing all types of different women, spreading all types of sexual diseases? And then he comes home and you say, yeah, Dad, you're a star.
Dog. So, son, tell me about your Vietnamese vagina. Tell me about how that...
This is so twisted.
How's that Cambodian cooch treating you, boy? That's insane. That's wild. Like, that's wild.
Yes, I hate that person.
Lord Williamson. Yes, I know Lord, man. Lord is out of control, man. Lord is carrying all types of diseases. He is progenitor X. Progenitor X. God damn, this is insane. This
Men have to literally be on their guard just to interact with a woman. So men are opting to leave. You go where
It seemed to describe his life.
Me, and it shouldn't have that. The environment is completely they're doing what you've been doing. They're traveling, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, Passport Bros. I'm like, huh, what? We're just coming off of the heels of COVID, the travel bug, and they want to get out. And, you know, and why not be that light post, if you will, that guiding light to try to help men where we can in this particular area.
On their website, the Worleys give suggestions of which countries are best suited for Passport Bros. Among their top 6 recommendations, 4 Asian countries make the list: Cambodia, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand.
All right, I'm going to say something that's never been said before. I'm sorry. But I think part of the reason Prometheus Worley and his son are promoting Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and stuff like that is because it's extremely hard in America for black men to get Asian pussy. That is like harder than, like, it's easy to get like a white girl. It's easy to get black women, easy to get a Latina woman. Asian women, hardest to knock down. Facts.
That's sad.
It's the
like
truth.
black man and an Asian woman. That's the best pair.
I don't know about it's the best pair. I don't know if it's the best pair. We've seen Naomi Osaka. That bitch is crazy. But
Nah, she looks good though.
She do. But it's hard to tell. Are there Asians in Portugal?
Oh, there's a few Asians, but I'll never smash these Asians.
Never
man.
smash an Asian.
No.
No, not for you. Not your type.
No, I would, but it's very hard to smash. They're very few, and they're like they're I don't know how to say it in English. They lock their face. They put like a face when you go near them, like a mean face.
So it's also hard to get down with Asians in Portugal.
Yeah, for sure. Like white girls, like somebody like Cassie who's kind of white. You go towards them, and they say like, "I'm sorry, no, I have a boyfriend." But if you go to like an Asian, they give you like this weird look.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like the Asians have been totally whitewashed in America. And that also includes like the Indians as well. You get what I'm saying? So this is partially why I think Prometheus and his son are bonding over all the Japanese dirty sex they've had. Like,
you think they go on 2 mans together on Thailand?
Wow.
Father and son time? Father and son time? This is how you become a man, son. This is how I made you.
That's insane.
You know what Prometheus brought? Prometheus brought fire to the earth, to humanity. I'm Zeus.
Oh God, this is bad, man. Akdi, what do you think about this? Like them promoting Asia?
The question in my head is like, if I don't know, like, what is the appeal? Do men have to smash every type of race in the earth? Like, is that the goal? Like, what is the goal here? Just because they can't get Asian pussy back in the States, they have to travel around the world just to get Asian pussy?
Well, okay.
I don't understand.
Okay, there's a 2-prong answer. I'm not going to go too far, but I'll just say, like, let's say there is a man who's black and he's really attracted to Asian women and he has his opportunities limited in the U.S. I'm not going to tell him, like, yo, don't try to live your best life. Don't live your dreams. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So why not try to go and get an Asian girl if he really is attracted to them? But it's hard to get in the US.
Like, if that's the case, like, why not? But,
And I'm going to keep it real. It's not hard everywhere in the U.S.
Yeah.
But I think it's only possible to smash Asians in the U.S. if they're in large numbers. And that would only be on the West Coast. California, Oregon, Washington. There's brothers that are smashing Asians there. And of course New York, because New York, everybody's fucking and spreading HIV. But other than that, like, why not try to live his best life?
If he's really that attracted to them, like, sure, go ahead. But, then it comes to the point of, like, okay, the old British ladies are going to Africa because they love black men.
And they love black men. I love them.
How ethical is that? I don't know.
Why is that your favorite Trump meme?
It's just hilarious.
But listen.
How is that different? Because then those ladies might say, I love black men, I want to be with a black man, but in
the Asian ladies?
No, the white ladies in the UK.
Okay.
But, I can't get with them in my country because I'm old and bruised. Mm-hmm. But I can get them in Africa.
Okay.
How is that different from,
well, I think,
black men saying, I can't get with Asian girls, so I go to Asia?
I mean, we spoke about this when we did that live stream years ago about the women in Gambia. Like, it could be the opposite. The men are taking advantage of the women, right? And so, in a lot of ways, like, maybe those women are taking advantage of these Western men that are coming. Like, it doesn't have to be from the subjectivity of men doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see it in 90 Day Fiancé all the time. These people get played out of everything by their little foreign hottie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, going to another country, wanting to live there, wanting to hook up with people there. I don't think anything wrong with that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But it's like the way the passport bros are doing is like they are putting a bad name on the woman back in the U.S.
That is true. Yeah, that's the worst thing.
Why would you do that? You know?
Yeah, that's corny. That's corny.
I think they have a bad reputation, passport bros. I think most of them, they're just good guys, just trying to get love. Everybody wants that. I think a few of them give them like a bad name. Like if you listen behind the let's bring back the patriarchy. If you listen behind that, like beneath that, you can hear like the desperation for love. You know, they want something safe and secure they can rely on. You know, which is a traditional. And here in the Western world, you know, it's not safe. They can leave you.
Yeah, but how about instead of like running away, we work towards how we can develop relationships with this new dynamic where women are also working and their standards are changing. Like, how about we, work together in order to create a new dynamic in relationships? But men just say like, oh no, like we don't want this new progressive woman. We just want to go back to the traditional way because that's what we think is safe. Like, I don't understand why this new dynamic is unsafe just because they can't keep up with women.
I think it's two things. Number one, you don't negotiate with women. It's futile to argue with a woman. You know, just let nature go through. And number two, they live like a total different reality than maybe someone like us live. You know, they consume very different media, very different games, very different lifestyles. So for them, the world looks different than the world that we see. You know, a lot of propaganda online also from right wingers. They're everywhere online.
That's true. Like the media, I think they consume, that does affect a lot. So I agree with that one, and the first one too.
I'm a press play on this.
We're guys traveling. I'm like, huh, what? We're just coming.
On their website, the Worleys give suggestions of which countries are best suited for passport bros.
Croatia.
Among their top 6 recommendations, 4 Asian countries make the list: Cambodia, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand.
If you're a guy looking for a woman that has traditional values, family values, you're going to find it in these areas.
I never made the decision, I'm going to be a passport bro. It's like I was dealing with some problems in America. I wanted to leave.
But every course and YouTuber out there seems
I just felt like I was on this hamster wheel that would never end. When I moved to Thailand, I'm able to relax more.
When he first arrived in Thailand, Paul was single. Though he wasn't looking for a serious relationship, he noticed he was getting a lot more attention on dating apps.
I think in America, a lot of women want someone who's 6 feet tall, makes 6 figures. Here in Thailand, I think it's more chill. Like, it's more personal, it's more traditional.
Eventually, he met his Thai girlfriend through a dating app, and they've been together for more than 2 years now.
I was like, man, this is the best woman I've ever met. She's always trusts me. She's like, you can do this. I believe in you. And sometimes that's just all you need. I never had the intention of being a passport bro, but I guess I am because I have a relationship now.
But with the emphasis on traditional gender roles, critics say the passport bro movement is steeped in misogyny and anti-feminism. How do the women of Southeast Asia feel about the phenomenon?
Why are you laughing?
I just live with a Southeast Asian woman. I wanted to hear their opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I think this documentary is good also because we never ask like what those women are feeling. Mm-hmm. It's always like Western women criticizing men and women.
Yeah.
Like in the passport bro sphere.
Mm.
But yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you think ever in your life were you would you have categorized yourself as a passport bro?
Never. I don't think, I feel like maybe I might have been living like that, but not intentionally. And on top of that, I don't hate on women back in America or the Western world or black women. Like a lot of the things Prometheus and his son, ask them about black women. It's like talking to Tory Lanez supporters. Them niggas hate black women. That could never be me. So, I was just getting laid in foreign countries, but I was never you're like, oh, it's so much better here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. I just think some countries have a more sexual culture and a more sexually open culture. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? That's what I think it is. So, I don't know. What do you think?
What countries have open sexual?
I mean, the ones I've like I said, like if you go to Asia, like I feel like it is, you know, a different level of sexuality there. But what do you think from what you've experienced?
I mean, I never went to Asia.
No, from other countries you've been to. Do you think that some countries have, you know, different like sexual, like they take sex less seriously or like very seriously, or like they're more sexual or less sexual? What do you think?
I don't know, because it's like as a woman, you're always more cautious, like when you know, go to a foreign country and who you have sex with and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But definitely, like I would say France. Mm-hmm. Like I was, you know, very openly sexual there, mm-hmm. I guess. And yeah, like no one seemed to mind, mm-hmm. but. Yeah, that was also like younger me coming right out of Turkey and going to like Europe and then having everyone making out, you know, in the street and me being like, you know, wow.
Okay. So that was
France is Gaspar Noé land, so I'm not surprised. France is like Gaspar Noé.
Yeah. So like that was shocking for me and it didn't bother me. And I was like, you know, wow, okay. This is what happens when you're not like, you know, under conservative Muslim rule.
Exactly. But Turkey is like less sexual. Like people are having sex, but it's not as like open, right?
It's not like a industry. Mm-hmm. And it is an industry in Thailand, for example, mm-hmm. in Brazil. Mm-hmm. You know, these are part of the, like how they advertise the countries. Mm-hmm. Not intentionally, obviously, but sort of in a word of mouth way, you know.
Nelson, would you ever be a passport bro?
I don't know. Maybe I'm open to all possibilities. You know, these Brazilian girls. I mean, I don't need to be a passport bro. There's a lot of Brazilian girls here. You know, I can use them for sex. I'm thinking about it.
I think that makes them passport hoes.
You should do.
I guess.
You should go to Macau.
Macau?
Yeah.
I don't know, they're Asian. I don't think they like blacks there. And they have like a weird Portuguese, a weird Creole.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna press play. Let's hear what the Asian women have to say about passport bros.
In southern Philippines, a stone's throw from white sandy beaches, the city of Dumaguete saw more expat arrivals after the pandemic. A few months ago, it became the new home for Alex Connolly. He moved from the San Francisco Bay Area in California. A full-time content creator, he's also looking for a relationship he couldn't find in the United States.
I'm sorry, I just hate the word content creator now. Like, I know I make content, but I fucking hate this word now. He's also a full-time content creator. Shut the fuck up. Like, this guy... This guy, tech support, IT.
Yeah, IT.
Stop it.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go for a second. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'm gonna leave the stream on so I can listen.
Man. Peace.
Do I consider myself a passport bro? Yes, with some level of reluctance because I know that there's a stigma associated with that term. But dating did come up for me as a strong reason to spend more time in Southeast Asia. For me, it's not about the short time. It's not about the short hookup. There's tons of successful women in the West. And so they're just not getting as much benefit of dating the regular Joe that perhaps a woman in Southeast Asia, she may think, well, he's a basic guy, but you know what? He's an honest man. A lot of the Asian women in these countries are more open to traditional gender roles.
What Alex describes is perhaps found in the home of Leah Buckingham, also a resident of Dumaguete. Leah is a stay-at-home mother of 2. She lives with her American husband, Gary.
Everyone deserves to be happy and feel love, you know. I don't think you should be in a place or in an environment where you don't feel belong and appreciated. So I think for them doing the movement to go abroad and find real women, I think they're doing the right thing.
Gary and Leah have been together for about 6 years after meeting on a dating site.
One of the reasons why passport bros, prefer to date us because they want to find a real woman that would respect them, that would let them to be the man that they should be, like to be the leader. And most of us Filipina, we respect that. We're very family oriented, and also we're more feminine and more traditional, I would say.
The Philippines is another popular destination in Southeast Asia for passport bros.
Here's why you should leave America and go straight to Philippines. First off is rent. $300 a month is plenty.
This is Austin Abita, 33 years old, from Colorado. A data analyst by trade, but on social media, he's built a following.
I think we saw this guy in another Vice documentary. Do you remember? No. I think you and I watched a Passport Bro documentary with, you remember that guy, Austin Holloman? Mm-hmm. And he met this weird Italian guy, the Italian black guy who came to Colombia to do Passport Bro. He's like, I watch you all the time. And he was doing dangerous shit. Like he got drugged and stuff. Yeah, so this isn't the first Passport Bro documentary I've seen. And this guy seems to be like, hella famous.
Oh my God.
I would split her little ass in half. She's so small. I'm just saying that was a baddie. Can we not admit that was a baddie?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, exactly. So why are you mad?
I'm mad that you're shaking your head constantly while watching this woman talk.
Well, we are so respectable. We are good. He said he gonna split a little ass in half.
I can't.
Tell me, what were you gonna say?
The thing is, I'm never gonna blame a woman for what she's doing, because obviously it seems like, stop. It seems like, she's in a happy relationship, like they have a kid, they've been together for 6 years. So, I think she did what was best for her. Stop it. The way y'all are fetishizing women.
We're not you picked this documentary. We're learning together, but we're also going to keep
Y'all are not learning anything. Y'all are just like, damn, that girl is hot.
You're just mad because there's no hot Passport Bros.
I think the Asian guy wasn't too bad.
Okay.
There's probably something very wrong with him because he's not bad looking.
Okay. Well, let's find out. Let's continue, shall we?
Following as a passport bro influencer. Right now, he's living in Manila with his Filipino girlfriend, Jewel.
I do identify as a passport bro, but if the movement were to change into something else, I'm not married to it. Dating is always two adults consenting to be in a relationship together. It's never perfect. It's going to get messy, but I think for me, I 100% think every guy should experience it. Every woman should experience it, dating into different cultures.
Austin has more than 700,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram. His content has accrued tens of millions of views, plenty of love, and a lot of hate.
Here's what I learned being a passport bro. Being a single American guy in South America, I sometimes post stuff like that, or this, and my comments get crazy. People get mad. Step one, get a passport.
Passport bros like Austin have come under fire for their romantic escapades abroad. The emphasis on traditional gender roles leads detractors to say the movement is anti-feminist, as it implies women should occupy a subservient role to men.
We still tend to equate women with, nursing and homemaking and all of these attributes, whereas men are the providers, are the ones who provide protection and resources. In modern Western culture, right? A lot of women would probably be not happy about the prospect of going back to the norms that they seem so fond of.
It's harmful, this passport bro movement that hold these beliefs, that women should be meek, subservient, and should tend to their needs. This passport bro movement puts kind of a racist and colonial dimension to this because it kind of fulfills their expectations that, brown people should be servicing white people and brown countries should be at the service of white Western countries.
Yet, gender roles are complex. It's simplistic to assume Asian women are unequal to men. For example, the Philippines ranks 25th out of 146 countries in gender equality, scoring better than Canada at 36 and almost 20 places above the United States at 43. Thailand ranks 65.
We Filipina, we know how to covert our role as a wife, and we let our men to lead us in our household. But some Muslim women, they think that, oh, that's too old-fashioned. You know, women should pursue their career and do all that. They even said that we are just playing the role because we want to get out the poverty. You know, but the fact is, we are raised like this. That's our tradition. That's our culture. You know.
ความเป็นชาวเอเชียอย่างชาวหญิงไทยมันถูกขัดเกลามันถูกหล่อหลอมมาโดยจะรู้ตัวหรือไม่รู้ตัวก็ตามว่าการเทคแคร์การดูแลเอาใจใส่คนรักมันเกิดขึ้นพร้อมกับความรักหรือความผูกพันหรือว่าการชื่นชอบ
Another criticism of passport bros says the men resort to finding love overseas because they're not good enough for the women back home.
These guys sort of give up on themselves in terms of what success they're going to have here in America, and they are like, okay, I'm not even going to put the effort in. It's almost like they think they're going to take a magic pill and everything's going to change by going to a different country and meeting a woman there.
Just as the passport bro movement grew through social media, there's now a counter-movement disparaging the men who choose this lifestyle.
When you pay attention to the passport bros, like they're getting women from like the DR, Colombia, the Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education, women that need them.
But here is where these critics are getting pushback. Some from women in Southeast Asia themselves.
Filipinos are depicted as desperate, submissive, and at a man's beck and call. Do you have any clue how insulting that is?
By suggesting that Asian women are easier targets for Western men, there is an undertone of racism. The implication being that Asian women are less than compared to Western women.
A woman commented,
I'm going to keep it real. I think the white woman's biggest fear is the Asian woman. The white woman knows that a white man's weakness is the Asian woman. In our battle against white supremacy, we will have legions of soldiers of Asian women attacking the castles and the forts of white supremacy while black men wait in the back. That's how dangerous the Asian vagina is to the white woman.
Let me correct that. To the white supremacist woman.
No, I think no. I think all white women, like, you know how women like get that like fear of like pretty girls walking into the room, like, oh, she's pretty, like, shit, I need to watch my man. It could be a regular Asian.
I don't know. Tell me about it.
Why are you getting mad at me?
Because I hate like men pitting women against.
We don't pit women against. Okay, we do.
I don't feel that way when a pretty girl walks into the room. So please tell me about how women feel when a pretty girl walks into the room.
I've heard that women feel sometimes like you know, nervous when like a very pretty girl walks in. If an Asian woman walks into a room, doesn't matter what she looks like, white women get scared. They start whispering.
Okay, I think I understand where you're coming from. I was just kind of like trying to make you mad, but I think porn has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Because like the fetishization of Asian women in the porn industry, I think might trigger some women to feel that way. And also fetishization of Asian women just among men, you know, like, and sort of like this stereotype of like, oh, they're tiny, like their coochie is tiny and all that
I'm gonna split them in half.
So yeah, I think definitely some white women might have that complex. But to me, it's just like, I think it's okay that a man and another woman can acknowledge another woman is beautiful. Like, I think that's fine, because why would you deny that if that's the case? But I think where it boils down to is like, do I trust you, for example, to, yeah, like you can acknowledge that she's beautiful or she's hot or she has a nice booty or whatever, but, you know, I trust you enough that you're not going to do anything about it.
Right. But I'm just saying, we're here in Hungary, right? How many times have you walked outside and you seen like a white guy with an Asian girl?
Not a lot, but a couple of times, yeah.
I see it a lot. I see it a lot almost every day. I see it a lot almost every day. So I think that just says something, man. Something universal. Something universal. The Asian woman is the biggest ally we have in the fight against white supremacy. There's only two people really committed to the fight against white supremacy. It's black men and Asian women. And my wife is Asian because she's from Turkey. So.
Are you trying to flex?
Yes, I'm trying to flex. Yes, I'm flexing. All right, I'm joking. Avery says he hates the Filipino accent. What do you think of the Filipino English accent?
It's an accent. I don't know.
Okay.
It's okay for me. Like, I can understand.
All right.
If you worked harder, you could get a first world queen. And it's just like, holy, the same sort of stereotypical nature to say like all Filipino women are X is to say all American men dating in the Philippines are X.
I grew up here in the Philippines. In this region, like we have more women living in poverty than men, more women working in the informal sector, and more women carrying the burden of care work or like work at home. And often, you know, like they don't have a choice in terms of like these expectations of them. But also understand that, you know, women also still have agency, and women are or should be able to make decisions based on what they think is best, based on kind of their personal situations. I think it's so important for us not to see women as victims.
Pam has dated a few passport bros in Bangkok. She's looking for a committed relationship and prefers dating foreigners to local men.
The kind of chemistry is different when I talk to foreigners. When I was living abroad, I just felt like, talking to like people in different countries, like I felt more like openness.
All right, I'm gonna keep it real. And Akdi's not gonna like what I have to say. But one of the things you notice, if you're a man abroad and you start dating women from different countries, you always run across that one or two girl who says, I don't like men from our country. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? So it's like when people are attacking the passport bros, every passport bro, you know, has heard somebody say something like this girl says, I like foreign men. I don't like men from my country. Men from my country are XYZ. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say.
Yeah. And I do say that too, because most Turkish men I've dated or I have just had a conversation with, not even dated, are just like not, they don't share the same life values that I do. So it's like, it's not for me. Obviously there are like more, you know, men that have the same ideas that I do, but I just never met them, basically.
Yeah.
So like they're somewhere there, and you know, maybe I've met them, maybe I would be in a relationship with them or whatever before I met you, but it's just like I haven't.
Yeah.
So you know, it sort of made me generalize like, oh, I don't think I can find a Turkish man that has the same life values and things that I want.
Yeah. I think, you know, it comes from like two places. Like there are people that are naturally attracted to people that are different than them, and they want to learn about that culture, right?
Yeah, that too.
There's people that, you know, no matter what, like even if this were 1,000 years ago, they would have, a foreigner comes into town, they're like, ooh, attractive foreigner. You know what I mean? I think that might be wired into us for like genetic survival or something like that too. Yeah. Who knows? But secondly, I do think that sometimes it comes from a place of self-hate, because we live in a white supremacist world, and to some degree, you know, there are parts of our culture that we come from that we think is not good enough because of like the brainwashing that we subtly get all of our lives. You know what I mean? Where like if you come from a certain developing country, you look down on the people from your developing country because you're like, why isn't our country like foreign, Western, rich nation? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I think like I had, you know, hints of that before, but like sort of exploring, you know, more about white supremacy and race and all of that with you, I think that also like made me see those things that I had previously, you know. Yeah. I wasn't like, you know, oh, I hate like my Turkishness ever, but I think there was hints of it, like just sprinkle of it there.
Like,
for sure.
Like it pops up in various ways because everybody goes through that. I went through that, you know what I mean? When you even think like, oh, our people are like this, and like that's what's wrong with our culture. You get what I mean? But you don't understand like the circumstances that made y'all, you know, like this, no matter where you come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Yeah. But yeah, shall I?
Yeah.
Overseas educated and a professional in public relations, Pam holds dual degrees in arts and media. She does not fit the stereotype of the uneducated, docile figure that critics paint.
I think I am quite independent as well compared to other Asian girls, but I don't think I'm super different from regular Thai ladies. Asian women these days.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just have to say this too. Just a little bit about her. She said she's highly educated. She was educated abroad or something like that. She earns more money than like the average, Thai woman, Filipino woman, whatever. She wants the best of the best. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, when you come from nothing, you want to have what's considered the highest level. So she wants that white man. She wants the big white cock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's another. That's
I think definitely like white supremacy has a play in all of the passport bro things because in most countries still white men is seen as the most attractive men. So.
Yeah. Shall we? What up? What up, Avery? Are you?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah. You good, man?
Yeah, I had to join in on this conversation because it was getting out of hand.
When you flying to Albania? When are you going to Albania?
I actually, my birthday, yeah, I think coming over that way probably around my birthday, August, September.
Okay.
So I already got work leave and all that, so I'm definitely planning a trip soon.
All right, man. If you come to Budapest or if you're nearby, we might come see you.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a plan. Well, no doubt.
All right.
Yeah. I can't hear the video though. I think I got to keep the YouTube open, right?
Well, we're about to play it again. I guess it's only playing on YouTube. I don't know if it'll share. Yeah.
All right, cool.
We also portray sophisticated and independent. We become more self-reliant, and I think we won't look for the guys that we meet on dating apps, and we know that he just wants a casual date, casual fun. It depends. Like we can choose as well.
The passport bro movement has been demonized by some people, praised by others, and sometimes there is basis. But as you know, nothing is black or white completely. When a man comes to a country where passport bros go to, and he makes the women think he's looking for love, he's looking for marriage, when what he really wants is to have a good time, then that is exploitative for sure. But in the end, we don't know what's going on in their hearts and minds.
I wouldn't say that all passport bros come here for real love or for genuine love. I'm sure there are some that come here for bad intention. Those are really the type of foreigner that Filipina should avoid because they don't deserve the traditional Filipina.
But even some passport bros admit there is a dark side to their movement, especially in Southeast Asia, a region with a long history of sex tourism.
This documentary is too serious.
There's something romantic about falling in love with a foreigner. Two people brought together by destiny, despite distance and cultural differences. At least, that was the dream of Joanna Ancla, a single mother of 3 in the Philippines. Joanna is looking for an
single mother of
AFAM.
3, god damn.
AFAM is an acronym.
He said single mother of 3, goddamn. Man, I wish Kevin Samuels was still alive to be reacting to shit and talking about this shit, man. For real.
Yeah.
For a foreigner around Manila, slang for a typically Western male. To many Filipinas, dating or marrying an AFAM is not an idea so foreign.
Foreigner, even they walk wearing a slipper in an ordinary shirt, something like they attract, some ladies, their looks. I'm looking a foreigner. I'm looking that he is my best friend, well loved, that can spend together, the last of our life.
Last year, Joanna met a Finnish man on a dating site. They'd been talking for nearly 2 months when he asked her to join him on a trip to Boracay, a resort island in central Philippines.
We spent Christmas and New Year in Boracay. I feel it that he loved me also, and his intention is, to get to know more me and going to a, serious more or maybe married someday.
I'm so sorry, but that man just wants a translator for real. Like, that's so sad. That's so sad. She getting played like that. He just wants a translator.
her story.
I don't know what's about to happen next because you saw it.
Yeah.
But it's essentially what I think it is, right?
Yeah, she's getting played.
Yeah.
See, why doesn't she get to, like, you know, live up to the standard?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, you were like, when the other Filipina woman were like, and you were like, oh, she's fine and all of that. But now, like, she doesn't deserve to have a passport, bro?
You deserve to have anything if it's on your level.
Well, we don't know what the Norwegian man looks like.
Exactly. Who knows what he looks like? But still, you know. It seems like they're just putting their hopes in just marrying the wildest, craziest white guy that says yes. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like,
I know white guys with this.
What'd you say, Ave?
So I didn't know all these white guys were this popular outside the country. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know that. I thought they were like still second citizens compared to us outside of the country. But hey, I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah. I mean, maybe by the government or by the police, like, they don't care. Like, they'll arrest foreigners. But, like, yeah, like, the women love them, you know?
I thought they were corny. Like, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I had some white friends. They're not really the funniest. They just are real unseasoned. They're real dry, but I don't know.
Unseasoned. But they can still go to Thailand and pull something bad.
I guess if that's a flex, I don't know.
Hold up. Let's see what happens with this lady.
That future crumbled after his vacation had ended. He returned to Finland, and she found out that he'd been in a relationship with another woman there. This love story gone awry points to a darker side of the passport bro movement. Many of their preferred destination countries, like the Philippines and Thailand, have a long history of sex tourism and exploitation.
Poorer countries have been sexually exploited for so many years, not just now. Ours, Spanish, the friars, etc. The Filipinos have been sexually exploited. This idea about sexual exploitation is not limited to passport bros. But of course, in any movement, you always find the ones that take advantage.
I think those are very fair criticisms, and men do that. Passport bros, there's a lot of guys coming over who they just want quick hookups. They just want to get laid as much as possible, and they'll lie to women to do it. They'll lie and say, oh, you know, we're in love, you know, we should get married and lead these girls on. And I think it's horrible. It does happen. But I do not think the vast majority I've met have not been that way.
This whole phenomenon of Western men coming to Southeast Asia, like the Philippines, looking for wives, it's not a new phenomenon. Before the passport bro, you had the femme, you had the dirty old man, you had the mail order bride orders, you have the sex pack. But we have to recognize women's agency, and if they're consenting into certain relationships or even transactions, then we have to respect that.
Pattaya, Patpong. These locales in...
I'm just thinking while I'm watching this, you know, a lot of the times they talk about the migrants are coming to Europe and America and they're just coming to sleep with our women and, you know, breed us out of extinction. But it's
what about your man?
Exactly.
Who's taking care of your man that's coming here and sleeping with all of our women?
Yeah, exactly. And then leaving babies in those countries too, because I don't think they're going to talk about this. A lot of those guys go there, get these women pregnant, then leave.
Yeah, and the woman thing oh, if I get pregnant, the man will stay with me or something, maybe. Yeah. And then they don't.
Nope, they gone. Next flight. That's sad. It's sad though. It is sad because then you being a deadbeat across the ocean. That's crazy.
Deadbeat across the world.
And there's no reason why you can't afford them, because if the country's cheaper, you should be able to take care of your kids. So it's that's kind of, it's backwards. It's just real niggerdom, I guess.
Real wiggerdom, because the white man been doing this. Yeah, they fly out there. It's crazy. I don't know. You remember Dennis Rodman? We watched his documentary, his 30 for 30. Yeah. And his daddy was in Asia living for 30 years. And he had Dennis Rodman found out he had 30 brothers and sisters. Yeah. That's insane.
He was one of the first passport bros.
The first passport bro.
He
was sex pat. A sex pat is wild.
But
in Thailand.
Go ahead.
I think also just they're talking about, okay, this is not a new thing, this has been happening, but the way just passport bros got this all negative attention is the way they market themselves is so bad.
Yeah.
Like the name itself is bad.
The first time they get pussy.
What's up?
It's the first time in their lives they get pussy, so they're like showing off. Oh my God, look, black woman, look at what I got.
Very distasteful, like.
Yeah, it does come across as a bit like very lame, very corny, just cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah, and just fetishizing like women all over the world, not just Asian women.
But I think also they look out of place too. Like a lot of the passport bros look like they have been behind the computer like all their lives. Yeah. And then you see them out in public, you're like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that guy that just came. That was like IT guy. He was really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have become synonymous with the sex industry. There are an estimated 300,000 sex workers in Thailand. Here, an average sex worker enters the industry at the age of 19. Each year, Thailand welcomes between 800,000 and 2 million sex tourists. Sex tourism brings in, by some estimates, over $6 billion for the country, and much of the industry is driven by poverty.
That's crazy. They make more from selling pussy than we get from selling like computer chips. That's crazy.
Pussy is power.
That's a good age. Yo, Nelson, you wild. Y'all wild. They answer the age at 19. Y'all wild. Akdi, you better get them. You better get them.
I can't even at this point.
You can't. You tired?
I'm tired. Avery, stop. Avery, you're not getting none of my Turkish friends. Stop.
No, I'm playing a role here. I'm not getting into it. Nelson, you got it.
For sure.
คามเย็นเนี่ยแหละที่ทำให้เซ็กชวลิซึมค่อนข้างเฟื่องฟูนะครับยกตัวอย่างเช่นพัดพงพัทยาสิ่งเหล่านี้เนี่ยเติบโตขึ้นมาจากบรรดาทหารอเมริกันเริ่มเข้ามาขณะเดียวกันมันมีอีกอาชีพหนึ่งที่เรียกว่าเมียเช่าคือพัฒนาการของการขายบริการทางเพศอะไรอย่างเงี้ยนะครับก็มันก็เกิดขึ้นมาเหมือนแบบฉันจะเป็นแฟนกับเธอฉันจะเป็นคู่รักเป็นเมียเธอแล้วเธอก็ให้เงินฉันจะดูแลเธอประหนึ่งเมียที่ดีเลยเมียแบบในอุดมคติชายเป็นใหญ่เลยมันเกิดความไม่มั่นคงทางเศรษฐกิจตอนนั้นเมื่อทหารบริการกลับไปเขาเกิดภาวะยากจนทันทีเมื่อมีประเทศที่มีพลเมืองบางประเทศนี่ที่ค่อนข้างที่จะถูกมองว่ารวยกว่าไม่รวยกว่าแต่มาจากประเทศโลกที่1หรือประเทศที่พัฒนาแล้วเนี่ยมันจึงทำให้ในไทยในฟิลิปปินส์บ้างเนี่ยรู้สึกว่ามันพึ่งพาได้มันสามารถทำให้รวยได้มันเข้ากันได้ดีกับการเคลื่อนไหวหรือปรากฏการณ์นี้ครับ
No, he was breaking down some real history right there. Even though the Philippine language is crazy, Tagalog sounds crazy, but yeah, like in the U.S., they don't teach us anything about us invading the Philippines. Like basically, like Spain had the Philippines, and then they let it go, and we tried to take it over. And the Philippines like fought like hell to get their country back for like a good 10 years. Yeah. And we did some horrific shit there, like killed their like George Washington. We would like, slaughter their people, like some real horrific shit there. And like, yeah, definitely, those white American soldiers were like fucking everything moving. So it was crazy. And like, yeah, he laid it out. Like basically the Filipino women were just caught in between the war and they were telling the white soldiers like, yo, I treat you like good wife. I take care of you.
Yeah, they were called rented wives. And then these soldiers provided like economical stability for them. But when they left, the woman became poor, and I think that might also like cause a lot of like how the sex work like developed in the country, because when those women became poor all of a sudden without any job or anything like that, they might have turned to like sex work.
The Love for Sale show Avery dropped. We might check that out later. We should do some more video live stream reacts. But yeah, like you said, like sex work, it's so crazy because like it's hard to imagine that could become a part of a nation's identity. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there are some countries that have built their somewhat either, by choice or by force as sex work as a part of its identity. Yeah. Like Amsterdam or like the Philippines, Thailand, like $6 billion is major money. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't know. It's once again, like, it's not that different, those, like, old white women going to Gambia.
Or, like, bald white men going to Turkey. to get their hair.
How is that the same thing?
Because it's a wild industry. Turkey makes $7 billion a year on plucking pubic hairs in the back of your scalp.
I was gonna say it's like the same type of exploitation between white American men going to Philippines and white women going to Gambia.
Okay, yeah.
It's like same parallel.
A little bit. Shall we?
Yeah.
There are concerns that under the veneer of social media likes and hashtags, the passport bro is just the new name for a sex tourist.
การเป็นเมียเช่ากับpassport bros เนี่ยนะครับก็มันคล้ายๆคือการถึงการที่สยบยอมหรือยอมรับสถานะทางเพศของตนเองที่เป็นผู้หญิงแล้วก็สถานะของเป็นพลเมืองประเทศที่กำลังพัฒนาประเทศโลกที่3อยู่อย่างไทยกับผู้ชายที่จะเข้ามาที่เป็นผู้ชายนะครับในโลกชายเป็นใหญ่และมาจากประเทศโลกที่1ประเทศที่พัฒนาแล้วมันมีสถานะที่มันเหลื่อมล้ำตรงนี้อยู่
While Austin says he doesn't belong to that side of the passport bro spectrum, it has nonetheless affected him. By dating Austin, his girlfriend Jewel feels unfairly tarred by these stereotypes.
Jewel doesn't want to go live in America, and it's because women comment on our posts that she's a prostitute. They comment that she's trying to escape poverty. That's the only reason she's with me. And you talk to her, she's educated, she speaks English great. And if she was white, this wouldn't happen.
And here is another side to the passport bro phenomenon. The idea of women's agency. Having dated some of them in Bangkok, Pam thinks it's women who control the game.
Yeah, so for me, I don't think passport bro is intimidating or dominating a movement at all. But us as Asian women, we can protect ourselves from like being mistreated by them, or somehow we have like equal right to choose the proper relationship for us. I think it just depends on the two people in the relationships. Like they are on the same page if they share the common goal.
ถ้าทุกคนสามารถมีตัวเลือกที่เหมาะสมนะครับยิ่งเยอะก็ยิ่งเป็นสิทธิ์ของเขาเพราะฉะนั้นการที่เขาจะใช้สิทธิ์เหล่านี้ในการที่จะมาหาคนที่ใช่จริงๆผมมองว่าเป็นเรื่องที่ดีนะครับไม่ใช่เรื่องที่แย่เลยแม้ว่าในมุมมองในอดีตเราจะมองว่าแบบการที่ต่างชาติจะมาหาแฟนคนไทยจะต้องเป็นคนระดับเวิร์กเกอร์บ้างคือผมมองว่ามันเป็นสิทธิ์ของเขาที่เขาต้องการในสิ่งที่เขาขาดผู้หญิงไทยหลายคนรอบตัวผมนะครับโดยเฉพาะเพื่อนผมเนี่ยเขาไม่ได้สนใจผู้ชายไทยด้วยซ้ำส่วนใหญ่จะสนใจต่างชาติมากกว่าไม่ว่าจะเป็นทางยุโรปนะครับทางอเมริกาหรือว่าแม้กระทั่งหนุ่มจีนหนุ่มไต้หวันเดี๋ยวนี้ก็เป็นที่สนใจของเพื่อนผมเหมือนกันสาเหตุหลักเขามองว่าเขาไม่ได้ขาดเหมือนกับเขาไม่ได้แบบขาดดุลอะไรกับการที่เขาได้ลองเรียนรู้วัฒนธรรมอื่นๆ
Despite her relationship scars, Joanna still holds out hope of meeting her foreign Prince Charming. Since her relationship with her Finnish paramour ended, Joanna has been open to dating other men. None have worked out so far.
My advice is you need to be more careful getting to know that guy. Don't give your trust all. That's the best thing all girls to do. It's a big learn to me. Love yourself first and know your worth. So my past relationship on my Finland boyfriend, it's not really break my heart. Maybe a small part. But I told you, I'm not a cheap Filipina. I'm not easy to get.
I think it's funny. I think she said
the passport bro movement having
first thing that came to mind was U.S. worth or Philippine worth. There's two different, conversion rates.
The conversion rate.
Because like I did like she said, love yourself first. I think that's worldwide, every person should love themselves first before they even get in a conversation or get in a relationship with somebody. So I guess she's speaking the truth there. But the know your worth thing, I'm like, oh, I mean, you got to understand, you are most likely. I would say, like, obviously there's some situations where people luck out, but I just feel like most of the dudes that go to South America are like bottom of the barrel. Like all them dudes that travel, I mean, they're just bottom of the barrel. They're just trying to, get one up and try to, get around the hard work of actually having a real communication, actually getting with women and building an actually solid relationship. Some of them are going to go there and meet someone and court them the correct way, but I think most of them are just, like I said, bottom of the barrel, trying to skip past the line of actual hard work and meeting someone with money not involved. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. Like I said, I haven't been.
I mean, Avery, what you think about the fact, like in the U.S., like to date women, money's involved. You know what I'm saying? You take them out, you got to court.
Yeah.
Money's involved in all of our relationships.
Yeah, it's definitely is. It's one of the things I wish I can remove. Like, I see why some men do go. Like, trust me, I see the vision. What you paying for there versus what we paying for here. You talking about some girls expect you to pay their rent, their nails. You know, nails are 175 at some places. You got some people who do their eyebrows. It's $200. Um, it's crazy. Yeah, it's serious. I've had. Right. And then some people get their toes different from their nails. So they go to two different places to get that stuff done. So you talking about high maintenance females over here, like that's how much it really costs. You look at the females that are over there, that type of woman here would cost you upwards of maybe $5,000 a month. Just keeping up with that maintenance and all the other stuff that they want. It's expensive. So it's best you
sound like an Audi.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy everywhere. Yeah, it is. It is. It's like you have to keep up with bad female maintenance. What's it called? Babbage maintenance. They say, But the crazy thing is, there's females who look better who aren't actually to do all those things. So I see why the dudes get on the planes, But you just got to find that person that is reasonable. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like I was gonna say, it goes both ways because guys want the girls to have toes done, nails done, hair done, and all of that stuff. But it's hard to afford that as a girl. Like as a one person, it's hard to afford that. It's like a two-person job.
I'll share y'all a story, and this is a personal story. Basically, it was this. Actually, I was following this girl on Twitter for a while. I thought she was really probably everything I wanted, just looks wise. Ended up getting her number. I think how I got it to her was a little different. She actually asked for my number, because gave her like a gift or whatever, right? She ended up giving me her number. We ended up texting, and then it was like every other day there was something that she wanted, and I'm like catching on, like, hold on, every other day you need this, this, and this. Why weren't you covering this yourself? So I think about 2 months went past, 2 to 3 months went past, and I was in a hole like $6,500. $6,500 within like maybe 2.5 months, and I was like, yeah, I think
$6,500.
yeah, $6,500. Yeah, I know. I was in the hole. This is years ago. Yeah, it's a bad experience. I really haven't told nobody that, but yeah, it was like they have a certain level, and once I really did my homework, I realized this person is being followed by, professional basketball players, professional football players, and
God
all this stuff.
damn.
So I was like, yeah, I could have went the extra mile and it kind of met them at their level, but I'm not at their level. I don't make multi-million dollars. You know what I mean? I'm doing very well for myself at my age. But I'm not a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? So I just was trying to be with somebody who wasn't matching where I was, and she's used to certain things. So it just wasn't it. So that's another thing too. You gotta watch out for a learning experience for sure.
Wow. I mean that could
Did
be
you
how
did
she
you let
makes her money.
I'll say it again, Acting.
That could be how she makes her money, like how she makes her living.
It could, yeah, well, it could have been like how she paid for other things. I know she was actually had a degree. She was working. So I mean she had an actual stable job. It's just having somebody else pay for all the extra stuff. I felt like this stuff is not something that I spend money on. So that's another thing I realized too. I had to learn was I need to be with somebody who spends money kind of in the same areas I do, unless it's, like womanly things like nails done, stuff like that. I can cover that. That's not an issue. You have to cover the main things if you want your girl to look a certain way. But like extra stuff, like certain clothes you wear, like if I don't wear designer, so if you wear designer, I can't date you, because at that point you're going to have me buying stuff that I normally would not budget for. You know what I mean? So we have to pay attention to that, and I had to learn that, in my early 20s, that you got to find somebody who matches you with the things you're just your overall lifestyle. You don't want to change too much for somebody that you want to be with for the way they look or things of that nature.
Hey Nelson, you were trying to say something. What's happening?
Yeah, it was for Avery. Avery, did she let you, slap her around a little bit? I mean, you give her a lot of money, man.
Yeah. I know it was a lot. I would say, it was a good time. It was worth it. I wouldn't say it was nothing was worth the money though. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, because I can have the same experience with someone else for less than $500. And not saying paid for, but like the experience of going out on a date and then, hanging out later, like, or a couple weeks go past. So yeah, it didn't feel worth it. And then when you pour into people, it don't have to be the same amount that they pour back into you, meaning value. If you pour value, money is a value to some people. So if I'm pouring the money into you, which is the value, which you see, then you got to pour back my value back into me. And it has to be equal. I can't just continue to pour into people and they don't pour back into me the way I need them to pour into me. Pause.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's why you gotta pick up like a homeless woman, man, and bring her from the ground.
Hey, so listen, if right now women, right, they're getting these careers, they're balling, they're becoming more educated than us, everything like that. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. When we gonna start making them pay for dick?
What Kendrick Lamar say?
Dick is too easy, man.
Oh man. I mean, it could. I mean, you can. I'd be jokingly, like, I mean, they not really gonna pay for it. You can jokingly say it, but
half of you can't make us come, bro.
exactly. So that's yeah. It's a hit or miss thing too as well, because I mean that's another thing. We ain't hitting 100% accuracy every time, so we gotta kind of keep it authentic.
I'm just saying, there's more women on Earth than us. They're pretty soon they're gonna have more money than us. You feel me? So maybe not our lifetimes, but I could imagine like our great grandsons will be like slinging dick like on OnlyFans, on Only Dick.
Ain't that what Jamaicans do?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Basically, the next generation is gonna be nothing but Jamaicans and Gambians, and
that's crazy. Oh my god! I would never think I would sell my body.
You can sell dick.
Okay.
It's crazy.
I'm pressing play.
All right.
Having spawned on the internet might eventually go the way online trends go and fade from relevance. But beneath it, there's a more worrying shift developing, a global pushback against feminism. Prometheus said he was a feminist for many years. The movement in it...
Yeah, this thing is hilarious. Prometheus.
What is that dress in the background?
I know, right? This is not how he lives, bro. This is a skit, man.
Why is he living in like a colonial house?
Doug, what is this, man?
Does he live in a plantation?
He lives like like he is doing like massa cosplay. Like, what is that dress behind him? He's reading like a feminist philosophy book. Oh my God, he's wearing a sweater vest in the middle of summer. Man,
yeah,
the boys...
this is sick. I'm watching it now. I'm like, why is his house like you? I know why you made the Passport Bro Inc. You're not going far here. Like you would have a problem like the sweater, the vest. I mean, he looks well dressed. People would assume, but he has a lot of insecurities. You can tell.
Dog, man.
No, but imagine as a black woman walking into this man's house and seeing this dress. Like, you're gonna run out.
That lamp, the fireplace.
Yeah, you're gonna like this is.
So like, what size are you? What size are you? I think you could fit into this.
He looks like the type of dude to say "milady."
Yeah.
Right.
This is so bad. Man. This is bad, bro.
Its early days resonated with his belief in equality, but somewhere along the line, it became toxic to him.
My views of it started to change when I started to see feminism promotes double standards. Women can have their expectation that they can say, I want a guy with a six-pack. I want a guy with six figures. I want a guy who drives a Maserati, who has a big home. If a man says, I prefer a woman that's sort of on the fit side, a little slender, he's a sexist. How dare he say that he wants her to be thin?
Prometheus is far from alone in this view. There is a global pushback against feminism. It coincides with the surge of men's rights activism and hypermasculine movements, broadly known as the manosphere. The manosphere is a network of online communities with a belief that men's rights have been neglected, usually laying the blame on feminism. One of the most notorious figures of the movement is Andrew Tate, who became famous for anti-feminist rhetoric. Andrew Tate and his brother have been charged with sexual assault and human trafficking in Romania. Within the manosphere exist groups like MGTOW, or men going their own way, men who want nothing to do with women. Then there is the red pill, those who believe society privileges women and suppresses men. The name is from The Matrix, a 1999 science fiction film where a red pill reveals the truth about the world. Another faction are incels, short for involuntary celibates. These are men who can't find sexual partners and air their often hateful and aggressive frustrations online. The Passport Bro movement is also considered as part of the manosphere. There are differences and overlaps, but overall, these groups are linked by one core idea: a feeling that men are losing out.
Women exercise more autonomy.
I'm sorry, one more acronym they forgot in here was SYBM. SYSBM. Save Yourself Black Band. And those are the people who are like Passport Bros, specifically telling black men to like marry like or sleep with like non-black women, right? So that's another one out there. Who's watching this in 2025 and doesn't know the red pill? Like, who the fuck is watching this? Like, what the fuck? What is this new shit?
Yeah. This actually is a recent video. I'm surprised. It seemed like the footage is from old. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, it caught me off guard when I saw it 5 months ago.
It's 5 months ago, and they're like just explaining red pill to like.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad analogy, the Matrix one, because if they saw like the Animatrix, they would see that basically the machines were being oppressed, and then they defended themselves, and the people like destroyed the sky, so they used people for energy and created the Matrix. So if you use it like as an analogy for men and women, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't that make it accurate though? Because in reality, women are being oppressed.
Oh, Akdi, we don't want to hear that shit.
You trying to flip it.
Want to talk about the truth. Stop.
I'm joking. I feel so bad for you sometimes.
You should.
I'm trying, but hey, this is your time to shine. Get your little pen and start smacking us around.
Hey, it's true though. It's true though. Women do get oppressed by powerful men.
Why you say it like that?
Yeah,
I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant by that. As soon as he said women do get the oppressed, I knew he
by powerful. Yeah, that sounded
like a fantasy.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm continuing. We're almost wrapping up this doc.
And therefore, in the context of relationships, men might feel like that takes from their power.
When you think about what privilege is, psychologically speaking, then basically it means that you have occupied a spot in a hierarchy that has long remained unchallenged. So suddenly you see that someone is approaching that hierarchy. I could see how that would maybe aggravate some people.
A 2022 global study found that 1 in 3 men believed feminism has done more harm than good, compared to 1 in 5 women. A similar proportion of men also believe traditional masculinity is under threat today, and almost a quarter of the men surveyed agree that feminism is to blame for men's loss of economic, political, or social power, compared to 15% of women.
I think feminism can become harmful when it tells a woman that you don't need a man, but not only do you not need a man, you don't want a man.
I think feminism is the ability for women to make their own choice and to have their own freedoms, and I'm all about that. I think there's a difference between that and extreme radical feminism. They think that men are dominating and oppressing women, whereas the average guy is just trying to make a living, just trying to support his wife, his family, just trying to do his duty. The average man is not a misogynist. The average man is not out to oppress.
Well, I think for me, feminism is kind of looking at how patriarchy, or the system of social relations that favors men over literally everyone else, harms women and harms those that it oppresses, and also to see how it interacts with other systems of oppression. And without looking at it in this kind of structural way, we might not understand how these issues are actually very gendered, and it affects like poverty affects women differently than men.
The gender divide played out at the ballot box in November. Political observers have linked the victory of President-elect Donald Trump to his campaign strategy that targeted disaffected young male voters. On election day, NBC News exit polling showed the majority of young women voted for Kamala Harris, while young men mostly went for Trump.
I would say that the majority...
You know,
I knew you were going to pause.
you know I gotta put your ass, man. Like, come on now. Like, how much do you think like Trump winning had to do with the gender war that's been brewing, like truly, socially?
You know, it could be that. But see, I can't speak on it because I actually voted for Kamala.
No, you did
so
not.
I can't speak on.
Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. Nobody. Akdi, you believe that?
No. In the beginning of this documentary, they were saying that 33% of men did not have sex in the last year.
Yeah.
That 33% voted for Trump. And that's why
Wow.
Trump won.
That's crazy. They had pent up aggression.
Goddamn women, I'm gonna show them. You gonna have my baby.
But you know what's funny though? But you know what's funny is that Trump, even though he's Trump, would get a lot of women, and the men voting for Trump won't necessarily get a lot of women. So, but women are voting for Kamala. Isn't that interesting?
Dog, imagine Trump in the Philippines. It will be a stampede.
Oh shit!
Imagine the little Asian women chasing him. Donald Trump, jump.
There'd be like one woman.
I love the Philippines.
I love the Philippines.
I love it.
I love them.
I love it.
I love it. It's so nice.
The man is very big, but the woman very short. I love it.
Wow.
Avery, why you lying though? Talking about you voting for Kamala.
I did. I really actually did.
Bruh,
I'm not lying.
Believes you. We don't believe you. We don't believe
I can't. You can't take pictures of the electronic. You know, when you put in your ballot. So I really did vote for her. I said, you know what? There's going to be enough people voting for that side. At the end of the day, I'm going to vote for my people. I'm going to vote for my sister.
Bruh, I thought you said you didn't even vote.
I did. No, I did vote. I was not going to, but I did go vote.
Anyway.
Voted for Kamala. I helped out the situation. I thought of you when I was voting.
No, you
didn't. You know, what would Simon do?
No, you did not. You did not. Nobody believes you. But no, for real though. Do you think the culture war has something to do with Trump winning though? For real.
Yeah, I think it played a part, just like how George Floyd dying played a part in him losing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
No,
that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, Akdi, what you think?
Like I said, 33% of that men voted for Trump.
18 to 20.
I don't fit into that category.
He's not.
Because I voted for Kamala.
Anyway, let's
Come on, shut the fuck up.
That's why she lost. I'm done. I'm pressing play.
The foreigners that I meet and interact with support Trump. They feel that he identifies with their beliefs, their values, much more so than Harris.
I don't know if one of the reasons the passport bro / movement towards traditional roles is also affected by or affects how the world seems to be voting for populist leaders now. You know, Bolsonaro in Brazil, Duterte in the Philippines, even Trump. But obviously, something isn't working. Right now, the most comfortable thing for many people to depend on, perhaps, is like a populist president or whatever, and is for very rigid traditional roles.
The tide is also turning in Southeast Asia. A report showed an increase in attitudes that reinforce traditional gender roles and undermine women's rights. For example, education and job prospects are seen as more important for males, while domestic violence against women is viewed more permissibly. Some worry that these societal movements will roll back the progress made by women in Asia.
มันก็มีความไม่เท่าเทียมด้วยตัวของมันอยู่แล้วครับเรื่องของความสัมพันธ์ภายใต้ร่มของชายเป็นใหญ่หญิงไทยหลายๆคนก็ยังคุ้นชินกับสถานภาพทางเศรษฐกิจสังคมที่ไม่เท่าเทียมคุ้นชินกับการที่จะต้องพึ่งพาเพศชายแม้ว่าการศึกษาผู้หญิงสูงกว่า แต่ยังมีความรู้สึกเรื่องของภาวะที่ยังต้องเป็นแม่และเมียอยู่ในขบวนการของ Passport Bro เนี่ยมันค่อนข้างเป็นประเทศที่เป็นมหาอำนาจเดินทางเข้ามาสู่ประเทศที่กำลังพัฒนาหาผู้หญิงที่จะมาบริการมาปรนนิบัติมาดูแลเหมือนแบบประหนึ่งว่าเป็นเมียในยุคเก่าอ่ะมันไม่ใช่เป็นคู่ที่มันเป็นคู่ชีวิตที่มันเท่าเทียมกันแต่แรกอยู่แล้วเนี่ยคือสารตั้งต้นมันเป็นเช่นนั้นเนี่ยมันก็เป็นสิ่งที่น่ากังวลอะว่าคุณไม่ได้ยอมรับความเท่าเทียมระหว่างคู่สัมพันธ์ของคุณแต่คุณต้องการจะหาคนที่มันมีสถานะต่ำกว่า
The Passport Bros, however, disagree.
A feminist might suggest that I'm seeking a world where men hold dominion over women. Men are the boss, and I'm not seeking that at all. I admire women.
To think that just because men are coming over here, that they're all evil or that they all want to use their economic disparity to like take over women or whatever is wrong. So the ideal dynamic for a relationship for me is that we're both willing to do things that make the other person feel loved and secured and feel intimate.
Before he met his girlfriend, Austin was active on dating apps. So was Pam, who is now seeing a European man she matched in Sweden. The proliferation of dating apps has also been blamed for the mismatch in dating success between men and women. One study of Tinder found that women had a successful match for every 2 likes on the app, compared to 1 in every 40 for men.
It creates just more visibility of how women are
Bruh, in general, nothing will kill a man's soul like getting fired from your job and being on Tinder. There are 2 things that hurt men for real.
What's that like? Tell me.
Boy, that is horrible. It's like literally you swipe right on everything and you unmatch what you don't like. It's like fishing.
Wow.
And for women, it's like going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I think I'll get this dick. No, I think I want that dick.
Yeah, I think like just my experience being on Tinder, it was like probably 90% match.
That's crazy.
Like if I match with the guys, then 90% of them turn back and text even.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It'll break your spirit.
kind of afforded to be more choosy. Now there's a lot of candidates, and you get to just kind of, go through your matches and see. And research shows that it takes men a longer time to accumulate a certain number of matches. And I think the visibility of this can create an additional layer of agreements.
A lot of these passport bros don't have great experiences in dating in the West. A lot of these average guys just feel like, man, I'm not catching the attention of the woman that I'm interested in. And they're seeing these guys who are living in Thailand or they're living in the Philippines, these passport bros videos, and they see that there are other countries in the world where the expectations are not so absurdly high due to curated social media that isn't reflective of reality.
Coming out of the pandemic, the Philippines saw a 20 to 30% bump in locals marrying foreigners, while this rose by 15% in Thailand. While we can't attribute this solely to the Passport Bro movement, these marriages were overwhelmingly between a foreign man and a local woman, while foreign women marrying local men are scarce. Although the Passport Bro movement is mostly viewed disparagingly in the West, here in Asia, the sentiment is more nuanced.
I don't think it's necessarily wrong, for example, for like a white man to date like a Filipino woman or a Southeast Asian woman. But in Southeast Asia, there is this kind of expectation that women in our region are subservient and meek and caring and will tend to your needs.
I don't feel like being dominated. Like, we look at marriage like a team, like helping each other, and we're happy that works for us.
There's room for everybody, as long as there's no exploitation, as long as there are no lies. We all have different wants. And if what you need is a more traditional wife or husband, why not?
As for the self-identified passport bros we've met, they seem happy with their choice.
Men and women, we're very different. We think very differently. We have different motivations, we have different worries, we have different goals, priorities. So I think it's understanding our natural differences and then having some sort of harmonious synergy between masculine and feminine, between man and woman.
It's been the greatest decision I've made. And I do have my Filipino ID. I'm proud of it. I'm a certified Filipino alien right now.
Am I seeking love? Yes. Yes, I think that's fair to say. I want to make sure that I can provide children a life that I didn't have growing up. I know that my destiny is here. I know that when I hit that point financially where it makes sense, then I will be here permanently.
All right, so this was an interesting documentary. Very interesting. What did you think of Akdi?
I like it just because of like the different points that they make about the history of sex work in Southeast Asia, agency of women, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to say there because like these women, yeah, like of course it depends on like what are their socioeconomic like situation is, but at the end of the day they are not dumb. You know, they can, like, I come from a traditional society where I was taught like those gender roles to the T, but you know I was able to see what is right or what is wrong or what is like patriarchal, what is not, and what do I want as a woman and stuff like that. So why wouldn't they be able to see that? And then if that's something that they want, to be with like a white American or to be with a foreigner, then you know who's to say that they can't do that?
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, people shouldn't be told, like, you know, you can't want to do this or you shouldn't want this or that, because you only have one life to live and everybody deserves the right to be happy, right?
Yeah, it's not like, I don't like the narrative of, oh, it's like just these men going there and taking advantage of women, because I don't think it's only with them, you know? They don't have the only power.
Yeah.
They might have a privilege.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you know, these women are being forced to do this. There is some agency there.
Yeah. And also, it's like, you know, I think for those little Asian women, it's a part of the thrill, the adventure of like, oh, we're sleeping with, you know, the type of guys we grew up seeing on the American movies we saw on TV.
Yeah.
That's how the white man is looked at. They look at it like, oh, I'm sleeping with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh,
knowing
God.
he looks like Jonah Hill. Just because he's white, he's fucking like, you know, up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you know, it's not as simple as that, but
this was a very white passport bro documentary, because like anything in life, especially if it comes from America, there's a white side to it and the black side, right? And a lot of the passport bro documentaries, rightfully so, focus on the white passport bros, right? Because those are the majority. But I feel like black men popularized the term or the idea, because it was popping around 2020.
Literally, Prometheus started it.
Yeah, Prometheus. Like anything that comes from America, most likely it has a black, you know, root, origin.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I think this one focused more on the idea of men and women and the different gender roles. But when they're talking about men, they mean really just white men and their relationships with Asian women, right? They didn't really talk about, you know, how they perceive black men or other types of foreign men. They have the Asian guy in there and stuff like that, but they don't really...
I mean, because, like, when you include, I think, black men and black people in general, because when you talk about black passport bros, then that reflects back on, like, what they think about black women back in the States and stuff like that. So it gets more complicated. It's like a different, you know, it's connected, but it's also different.
Because the
from,
white
men.
Yeah, the white guys, and I guess maybe the Asian guys too, they're saying feminism and Western culture is making our women not want to cook pancakes for us. The black guy is going to go there and say the same thing, but also add black women are X, Y, and Z extra that I don't even want to repeat. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and there's a different aspect for it. Because also, like, you know, there's also the thing of, like, black men are also minorities in America.
The only passport bro that I would respect is a passport bro who pops up in Korea, Thailand, whatever, I don't know, Lebanon, and says, I want to date a foreign woman, a woman who, I don't know, doesn't like worship the gun, who doesn't, you know, believe that, you know, we're a Christian nation, a woman who thinks you can live your life without a car. That's the only passport bro that I would respect. Because I'll be honest,
That's you.
That's me. That's me. But I'm not. I don't think.
I'm joking.
No, but I'm gonna keep it real. Just like how you said earlier, like you don't like Turkish guys because X, Y, and Z. I don't like American culture in general because of A, B, and C. Everything I just said. Because like the shit that we're taught when we're growing up is crazy. It's crazy shit. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to break out of. And I couldn't be with somebody who has that type of framework of thinking about the world.
Yeah, and I think like, you know, like the American Asian man that they showed here, like I think that's kind of also what he said. Like he said, I didn't really come here to be a passport bro. I didn't know what that term meant. But I came here because I didn't like the lifestyle in America. It was too hectic. I felt like I was in a hamster wheel.
Yeah, and that's, you know, this thing really comes down to how capitalism distorts everything under it, right?
Yeah.
And so our relationships, the modern family, what it means to love is all shaped by our relations to economic forces and power, right? Yeah. And that's why, you know, when we first meet somebody and they ask, hey, tell me about yourself, you say your job, you say where you live, you say what you studied in school, how long you've been working somewhere. You don't say, well, I'm a sweet, tender person who likes to meditate and, I don't know, draw pictures.
Yeah.
You say, what's your economic output in the world? What value do you bring?
Yeah.
So,
and I think at the end of the day, like obviously these are issues that we should discuss, but they are a bit of a, like this gender war. It's a distraction from like all of us ganging up on capitalism because, you know, all the stuff that we talked about, women in Western countries being like high maintenance, like that's a result of capitalism.
yeah, if it costs, like you said, $200 to get your eyebrows done, that's like price gouging.
First, they tell a woman, like, this is what you need to do. You need to buy this and buy that and get this service and get that service. And now those services cost, like, insane amount of money.
So now you're working even harder.
Yeah, so now you work even harder to buy those things. And that's why, like, expectations of women from men financially increases as well because life is expensive. Yeah. So it kind of boils down to capitalism, you know, at the end.
No, it essentially, the passport bros are somehow making like a rational decision in the face of capitalism. To some degree, when I argued, oh, the passport bros have a point, I was just going to say they have a point that they want to build loving, meaningful relationships or sexual liaisons and one-night stands in a place that does not have as high a level of advanced capitalism where our relationships are distorted.
Yeah, but with them, they are bringing that capitalist thinking to those countries. They're like poisoning those countries as well. They're spreading the virus to those countries.
To some degree.
Yeah, so it doesn't.
But I wouldn't say
it's not like their intention is pure.
I don't get how you go all the way. I mean, if they're going there to buy women and deal in the sex trade, that's one thing. But if they're going there, they're trying to flirt, they're trying to date, they're trying to...
No, they're trying to flex their American dollars. Okay. They don't have to go to a brothel.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Sorry, let me tell you. I agree with you, Akdi. Just saying.
So like, you know, you go there and $1 can get you like, I don't know, a whole meal or something. So like that's flexing your money, that's flexing your capital. And you're earning, most of them work online with the US companies. They're earning dollars and then flexing their dollars there. So like, how is that not spreading capitalism?
To some degree, yeah, but they're just leveraging just the advantages they have. Like that's all you can do in life. Like if you go out on a date with a person in America or your home country, wherever you are, you're gonna leverage what you have. You know what I mean? To try to win love and win admiration from people.
I understand, but I feel like it would be more like how you said if they actually moved there, got a job in that country and made the same amount of money that the people make there. And then I would agree.
Okay.
But most of them don't.
Right.
And
Don't come over here with that bullshit.
with privilege and keep the privilege. Sorry, Avery. Go ahead.
No, my bad. I was gonna say, yeah, don't come over here with all that. I do think it's a problem. I do agree that because I tend to, maybe over the last 3 years, I started to try to dress a little bit more down and not spend as much and not really, just honestly look like a hobo if I can. like wear, construction or certain type of clothing, so I'm like doesn't stand out because I just think you don't want to send people the wrong message. And then also you want to have the element of surprise too. Somebody you get somebody a gift, it's like, oh, this is expensive. How did this person you know what I mean? So I think if everyone followed that suit and not go to a different country and try to flex on everyone in that country, because obviously you still might not even be that guy over here, but you're flexing over there. It's just like you're just passing on the capitalism, theory and mindset. So I agree 100% on that.
Yeah, because I feel like, okay, I'm gonna say this. A like white American guy going to Philippines in his flip flops and his Hawaiian T-shirt. If he's making minimum wage in that country, as same with the other Filipino guys are making, like let's see how many girls approach him. Then.
I think he would still have a bit of a layup because of his
race.
You know what I mean, yeah.
But it wouldn't be as many.
He couldn't take the girls out to like fancy movie dinner dates and jet skiing trips and fly them out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like a lot of these passport bros are like hella gross. They're really gross. Yeah. A lot of them are. But I also feel a bit sorry for them too. That things are getting that bad in America where it's like, people are telling me, my friend Donteris called me up and he said these girls are now asking for like deposits to go on dates. Like you got to send like $200, $300, and you just been texting a few times before you even go out. You know what I mean? Like this shit is crazy. Like I don't know what I would be like if I stayed in America and kept dealing with that. I might be a red pill Malcolm X. Oh God. You know what I'm saying?
They doing that in
they
America?
accept like
You said they doing that in America? Sorry.
Yeah, I got a friend in Florida. My friend in Florida, he called me up when I was back there, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like these girls are crazy. Like they're asking for like money when you just been texting for a few days before you even meet them."
Well, that's Florida though. I mean, I think they're really money driven there.
Yeah, I mean,
so I can see that.
We live in a big country, right? But what seems to be a pattern that I'm getting, like from your story and what my friend's story is, it's like money is now like major. It's like upfront and honest. Like these girls are like professional beggars. Gimme, gimme, gimme. As soon as you meet them.
The thing I don't understand is why are men giving them free money?
Well, that's another thing. Like, I don't know.
It's tricky.
Like, no one is stealing
it's tricky.
From you, and then you give it and you cry. Like I don't understand.
Well, I think a lot of the people like you got to chuck it up as a loss. Like if you're on the internet saying this girl robbed me and all that stuff, I have a problem with. That's different. Because even when I brought my story, it's like, okay, yeah, I got bamboozled, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm still thinking about it today, type of thing, like unsorrow about it. I think leading with it is more so like they want to make sure they're secure with you versus 100 other people that's reaching out to them daily. Definitely on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now, and Instagram. It's not even the same. It's like X, they're getting 1,000 DMs per maybe week.
That's what I'm
saying.
And
they're trying to.
It's like the notification game. They get them notifications from Instagram all the time. It's easy to block them out. But when that Cash App notification pop up,
oh yeah, the Cash App game crazy. The Cash App game crazy.
That's how you get their attention.
Yeah, I'm telling you firsthand. If you do $100, you getting the number nonstop. It don't matter what you do. I mean, it depends on the quality of the, what they're used to.
But that's like a deposit. It's like a deposit.
It's a deposit. Yeah, it is. It is. He true. He right. I'm not gonna lie. It is like that. But 300 is crazy. 300 is crazy.
That's crazy.
But okay, this is gonna be a really bad like analogy, and I'm a feminist, so don't quote me on that. But it's like, if you have a kid and then you constantly give chocolate to your kid, and then one day all of a sudden you're like, here's a broccoli and eat this. It's like she's not gonna want it, and it feels like guys have been giving candy and chocolate to like all these ladies, and then now they're wondering why do they want chocolate all the time.
Man, I think it's because of the apps, the app game. Because like before, it was very hard to like give a girl money. You know what I mean? Like, but now with the push of a button, you can send it through so many platforms, like a Facebook Messenger, like the Cash App, the PayPal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's like, it feels weird. Why would I give someone I barely know money? Like, it feels like I would feel like I'm trying to buy something from them, like buy their affection, buy, their attention or whatever.
Well, it's the attention hopefully leading to the affection on that erection.
Yeah.
But that's not
Yeah.
how you start a real, like that's not how you start a real relationship.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Yeah, it's not how you start a real one. I think we know that it's going to be a means to an end, just like the situation I explained.
Yeah.
I think it is one of those things where Simon's right. You know, the apps, there's so much attention. There's so many, different women you see. You kind of gotta, play the game of, the attention, giving the money, and then it's like a small gesture that you're giving. Like, hey, I noticed you. You look nice, type of thing. Because you would probably spend the same amount on the first date. So it's like, yeah, you're giving that, but then it's like I'm probably going to spend $500 to $1,000 on that one night.
That's insane.
On that one night. That's why I say I see their vision on why they want to go. But the reason why women over here are turning it into a bad thing is because they know that they would lose every single person here if we literally all went to a different place. I think that's why they want to turn it into something bad, because they know that what they offering, the shit they selling, is not good no more.
Hey, you think Trump gonna put a tariff on international tricking?
He should. I honestly think he should. I think if you look like because you ever watch the show To Catch a Smuggler on National Geographic? I watch it all the time. I like seeing people get locked up.
We watched a
chained
show
up.
called Locked Up Abroad. It's like stories
Yes.
of people like trafficking.
That's my favorite show.
From Jamaica.
Yes. Yes, it's one of my favorite shows. Locked Up Abroad, Banged Up Abroad.
Yeah.
I love Catch a Smuggler. Hey, you smuggling some shit, we're gonna lock your stupid ass up. So in those shows, right? I lost my train of thought because that shit was so funny. So he should, because if you show a pattern of traveling to these, what they call them in that shows, like a hot country or source country. They call them source country. If you go to a source country, where that's either sex tourism or that's drugs, they should be able to flag your passport and say, why are you here?
Passport, bro. Passport.
Yeah, like now we're gonna tax you because you keep going here. What is here that you keep going for? Are you in business, or you're here to you keep going to this place? Damn. So I got to figure out what you're doing. So I do think they should tax people on going frequently to the same places, because I'm not being a joke. We saying in a joking manner, but I do think there should be a consequence for what they're doing.
Should the government step in and try to limit, passport bro travel to sex? I think that's actually a good point. That's deep. Like, I got to think about that more. I don't want to give my opinion yet. I got to think about that, but that's actually kind of a good point.
Y'all are just trying to have like more Diddy cases. Like, no. Why should any government put a limit on your travel? Because if you're traveling to a place, because a lot of the time sex tourism also includes, sex with children. Like, you can go to Thailand and pay a few $100 to sleep with a child. You know what I mean? So I understand, but the solution shouldn't be limiting or taxing your flights, because if you got the balls to go to another country and sleep with another children, you're gonna pay that tax.
I got one better.
I think the government kind of should step in and say, like, because like a lot of those British guys, they fly to Thailand, Vietnam every year to like do that. You know what I mean? Like, go to the brothels there where anything goes. You know what I mean?
I think we should limit the tourism, and also if we gonna limit that, just like how they limit how many wives we have here, it should be the same thing. Because if we limit us going out the country to do these things, they should also, the fact that we have limited wives, we can't have more than one, makes sense. I mean, it limits a lot. I mean, we all gotta have restrictions. Yeah. I believe.
I mean, they don't allow Americans right now to travel to like North Korea or Russia or Venezuela or Cuba. Like, I did a live stream last year about, white men flying to like Nepal purposely to sleep with children. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a major issue. That's another part of this passport bro thing that's kind of dark and dirty. Yeah. So. No, I understand, but that's just not. I don't think it's a good solution. That's the thing. You don't think so? Okay. I don't know. There's more thought to be put into that. Because, I don't know. Maybe you might prevent that country or that man from going there too many times, but he's still going to go there. And then plus the children are still there in that situation. So it doesn't really solve anything, really. Yeah. I mean, you can only do as much as you can. I mean... Yeah. But it's not even just about the kids. It's about protecting, the little Asian women in Thailand from getting, like that little girl, that 40-year-old woman with 3 kids, like getting played like that. Like the Finnish government should have stepped in and said no. The government should have said no. What are you doing, man? That's fucked up, bro. But yeah, this is an interesting doc. Yeah. Thank you, Akdi, for suggesting it.
Always.
Yeah. Did you enjoy this live stream? Yeah, it's a bit tiring of it.
It is.
Yeah. We need to find some ladies for you to come in here and like just back you up.
I know. Call to your followers and subscribers.
Bring some ladies, guys. Y'all some
ladies. Where y'all?
Man, y'all some incels, bro. Where the ladies at? But yeah, I appreciate everybody who joined in. We're gonna start wrapping this up. Shout out to Kamal. Shout out to Mad Villainy. Shout out to Avery, of course. Shout out to my guy Nelson Moreno. Shout out to Jerry Online, and of course, shout out to Akdi. And shout out to the Passport Bros.
Shout out to the Passport Bros.
No.
You should have tagged some of the menace.
Like
I think if you would have, yeah, like Lord, you should have tagged. I mean, I think he goes across. I mean, he's not really like a bad person. I don't think. I just think people who follow him probably get a bad image of like how they can live their lives. So I just think he need to be more clear on the fact that the risk of everything that he's doing too as well.
Yeah, I've only seen a few of his videos, and he just looks like he's just like living a dangerous life. You know what I mean? Just like outside all the time with it, and I don't know, I wouldn't even know what to tell him.
He seems like a good brother though. I just think he just needs to do it a lot better. I don't know. He seems different than all the rest of them. I believe. Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of like other guys that go to Colombia and all these places, but he's a little his situation a little different. I think he does go about things differently. So I feel like you should have tagged him at them in the name of the title of the video. They would have watched it. They would have created a video strictly to respond to you, like how you did. What you call it? What's his name from Albania? Yo, that shit was funny as hell. His name was guy starts with a K in Albania. I forgot his name.
Oh, I forgot. I know who you're talking about that. The guy I was roasting. But I'm not a clout chaser. I don't be chasing.
I know.
Tagging people up and stuff. But more power to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you coming in, Avery, and Nelson, if you there. Appreciate you too.
Thank you. Appreciate it too.
All right, man. Y'all be easy out there.